Welcome, my lovely dears, to another capitalist session of Sunrise and Sunset. When last we left off, our glorious heroes in the land of Las Dorado probably didn't get up to anything important. There was no life-changing situation for any kind of warforged individual. He just, picked up a new shop, and then that was about that. Ba-na-ba, ba-na-ba.
Weren't no
But no,
thing.
in reality, you defeated a crazed, or forcibly rebooted, big air quotes, a crazed warforge in the midst of Dragon's Ward, where there was a manor for sale which rests atop 3 individual stores, connecting them all together, set opposite one of the dank groweries of Lady Lihua, the one who sold the contract onto you. This is never been purchased by Anai. You are now a landowner in Vegas. Congratulations. You have a mansion.
Hooray.
Papa will be so proud.
I hope you will be.
And then, well, some stuff happened between sessions. Pointedly, Brian was feeling pretty down about the impending doom. And the party decided that, she should really get that sex and drug-fueled heart attack that she'd been, looking forward to as a way to temporarily, big air quotes, depart this mortal coil. So between sessions, the party organized a raucous orgy, and Khassid even got the lovely Ara to both host the party and fucking blended Brienne's insides with a tail. A good time was had by all, at least until the parting moment, which was tearful for many. Brienne is now deceased. As she became so deceased, a coin was left behind. It looked to be a silver medallion or medal of some kind, very burned silver. However, it turns out that silver was just a coating obscuring what appears to be a very expensive diamond. A very, very, very expensive diamond, as far as Ara is concerned. To a younger dragon, probably worth about a third of a hoard.
Wow.
A unit of measurement used instead of referring to any simple gold value, because something worth that much money isn't liquid. You don't have anyone you can sell it to.
Yeah, and besides, we're keeping it for Brienne when she comes back. We're not going to steal her stuff.
Yes, presumably something that expensive being used as a means to create a lovely lady meat puppet to walk around is probably more valuable either in that caster's hands or in that caster's friend's hands.
I'm extremely curious as to what would motivate someone to put that much effort into a simulacrum. I have
very
suspicions,
simple, because yeah, exactly. You and I are probably thinking the same thing. She was in the tower, looking tired and reading a book. So, if
Well, it's
she's
also because
fucked
it was
up,
3 to 4 a.m. when she passed. So the reason she looked tired to her is because it's 4 in the morning.
I really like the idea of her just sitting there reading a book, and then all of a sudden, all of their recent memories of doing tons of drugs and being in an orgy just slams her in the head.
Yeah, it's more like if you have that capability and you're not doing it yourself, you either completely fuck your body, or you're so fucking disgustingly powerful and rich that you just, you know what? I'll let my simulacrum live its fucking sinful life, and then I can just enjoy my life here. That's a fucking neat.
that's the Senatrea plan.
I don't think that's what happened, considering the simulacrum got kidnapped by a whole cult and everything. I have a feeling she probably knew something like that was going to happen and made preparations.
I kind of don't.
Like you knew. Like you knew you were gonna get kidnapped and have your soul stolen.
I didn't, but I didn't make a simulacrum that had that thing happen to it.
I don't think
Yeah.
she sent out a simulacrum to get kidnapped.
Living vicariously. There's a thing to living through your children, but then there's another thing, living through your simulacrum.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what this is.
I do.
Well, I
Well,
know what the answer is, and you'll have to fucking find out.
Well,
That said,
certainly-
while we are here, I need to show you where a Tower of Black Stone is located on the map, because that is the
Yeah.
last place a Brienne saw.
And R
Blackstone's in this
recognized
game.
it.
Blackstone's in
Yeah,
this
okay.
game too.
Guess
can't
what?
play
You're
any
trying to go
games
insane
without
on
looking into it.
another character.
But I started this character insane. Meh.
Look.
You're going to be resaned and unsane.
I unsaned one of your characters. I resaned another one. Now it's time to invert it. Let's go.
No,
Close
your
that
character
circle.
didn't start. Your
Savin
character
did
didn't start
drive.
insane.
Savin did drive my character in Warhammer insane. It's pretty funny.
I mean, it's also
Mine
very
too.
like. I mean, the setting turns your character insane. Like,
Yeah, but
No, not Jean.
well, my character's immune to insanity.
Yeah.
I gave you 240 insanity though, Lamau.
Oh, it's
Is
not too far
casually
away,
discovering
actually.
the Void Dragon.
I did begin the campaign insane, Hedrah.
I would have thought the Blackstone Tower would be further away than that.
Yeah, I thought it would have
I
been
mean,
in
it's
the
in the
north.
middle of the desert.
Yeah, but I mean, like, compared
Oh
to
no,
us, like...
I'm one across wrong from the side. There you go. It should be on that side of the middle of the desert.
Okay, that makes more
okay.
sense.
Oh, hey, well that's
so-
convenient. We can just pop up there on our way to go
Yeah,
get. the chunk of
Yeah.
I wasn't zoomed out enough, and I was like, oh yeah, the center of the map is right here. No fucking, it's one across. This map
It's
is a
really
fucking long
convenient
way.
for us in our travel plans, though.
Yeah, no, it's about as close to the center as it could get.
Well, we're gonna have to do a little side dodge because it's just fuck. We're gonna go through here.
You know, like meow.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be at travel for like a month, but I mean, it's definitely a month that needs to happen.
A casual 1,200 mile trip.
Yeah, you know,
This,
just in and out and back before dinner.
you know, it's the fact that you can't really do anything on the ship during the whole month.
So
Sure. At the same time, it's like, you know, that just because you can't do anything doesn't mean necessarily you'd be doing something in the other hand. Like, a wasted month is only that. It is just a month where your character isn't occupied.
As someone,
There
as
is no
someone who needs
travel.
to do things, it's like just sit still for like a whole fucking month, unless I'm in the hospital.
Look, if you know you're going to be traveling for a month, then make sure to, like, you know, get a whole bunch of books and some board game. Do stuff that you would do if you were preparing to be away for a while. You haven't got your phone and your laptop with you. You're going to have to leave those behind. You better bring some books and some stuff to do, and some board games and puzzles.
Yeah, it's like how teach yourself this language.
We do have a book you can read that can give you, was it Abyssal, I think?
Yeah, I know
Is it
that
Abyssal or Elemental, one of the two? Or is it
it's
both?
both. Primal.
Well, no,
primordial.
it's a choice of them, though, I think.
Yeah, it was primordial, not primordial and abyssal, wasn't it?
Can't remember what the book was named.
Magical Wishmaster book. The Wish Duder.
I don't know the name of the book. That's the problem there.
Yeah, but do you know what the Wish Dude was his name?
Valorous?
Yeah.
I don't see it, and it should be in thingy order. Dun, dun, dun. God, I got a lot of shit, eh?
Oh, right. Since it's been a week, have the dogs managed to, the mask?
They would have done, but you guys like kept on calling them out to parties. They're nearly done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will probably be done by the end of downtime, but they've otherwise been occupied by your characters finding otherwise to occupy them.
This is true.
Let's see here.
They like to party. They like to party.
Everyone likes finger bucks.
Let me see here. I think I have it written down. Oh, there it is. How much is Master working again? It's
300.
300? Okay. Then during the downtime, I'm going to find those adventurer guys, adventurer company that made these firearms, and I'm going to put in the order for our masterwork arquebus.
Alrighty.
Probably 650 gold.
Alakablam.
That is strange. Where the fuck is the book?
I don't know.
It's not written there. You should have written on your sheet.
Yeah. It is just a book that was looted off of the list of available books. So like I don't have it to hand. It's probably somewhere in like the chat log archive, but
We
if
get
it was
so
lost
much
track
shit in
of,
this
it was lost
campaign.
track of.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
It's impossible to
Oh,
keep track
wait,
of
no,
all.
never mind. Hang on. Never mind. Oh, yeah, no.
Like something that is like functionally not a tool. I don't know how to best put it. Like the book isn't a tool. So insofar as it's something that your character is going to like wield for something, nor does it carry any lore on it. So I'm not recording that in the list of like already
Yeah.
a gajillion handouts.
Yeah, here we go. The Grimoire of Valorous. I actually have it noted down here.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
While on downtime, I also would like to. I'd also like to see if I can talk to Mr. Sunshine.
You're gonna talk to her?
Yeah, you're
And
going
Mr.
to
Sunshine.
Mr. Sunshine.
Or yeah, I want to see if I can talk to him for a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Hagen always has time for the faithful, and even the unfaithful. He's kind of a good dude like that.
Yes, time for the faithful, the unfaithful, and
wanted-
Loam.
I wanted to see about getting these. If it would be possible to get these special arrowheads that I got from the gods that were made out of the world nails or something. If they could be be reshaped a little bit into bullets instead of arrowheads, or at least some of them. I have so many weapons now.
Yeah, he can probably do that. Let's see here.
Just squish it into a ball.
End of downtime at least. If you actually don't figure it out straight, it's still on your character's choice. Big air quotes.
Well, you said end of downtime, so end of downtime.
End of
it is.
downtime at least, yeah.
Well, during downtime, I got a thing I'd like to ask Kizzy.
Sure.
She'd rather like if the idea of either moving or expanding our home for a stronghold level 2.
Yeah, if
that
she
flush with cash.
If you two are goldfish and you believe you've gotten too small for this bowl, then yeah, go for it.
Oh, also,
Wait to see what she'd think if she'd rather just expand the house or move.
It's possible that. I mean, she's got a nice big training area out there. She'd probably buy a neighbor's house instead off of them if possible, and then that would become an expansion to the home without necessarily involving a whole bunch of construction. You could just buy an adjoining house instead and be like, yeah, just knock a wall through. Bam, 2 houses, 1 big house.
Cool.
Also, I hired
do that.
I spent like 800 gold hiring a private dick for up until the end of the year.
But you're married to Cass.
And that dick is anything but private.
But my dick is community property.
Yeah, so we now do have the city's best private detective
I think
looking
it's
after
cock, actually. It doesn't have...
looking out for the cult while in Lustrado, because I know everyone's already upped protection around like their parents' house, specifically like Cass, but now I've got a private detective too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hagen manages to crush down 5 of these arrows into bullets before he sighs and eventually stops, and you can see him like clenching and unclenching his hand, and the edge of that arrow is like cut quite deeply into his
dear.
palm before it slowly re-heals again.
I didn't
those
think...
things are pretty harmful to us.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize.
Don't be. What is a little bit of suffering, huh?
Now Loam feels bad.
I'll give you a pat on the head and return the remaining arrows, and he'll place the 5 shiny bullets in your hand. They do feel fucking heavy. Like, they feel almost as heavy as the arrow itself, just it is now a fucking little sphere, a little bullet.
Well, I thank you very much.
Oh, please. I thank you. It takes a lot of bravery to do what all of you are doing. A moment's suffering and an extended moment's, I wouldn't say exhaustion, tiredness perhaps, is a small price to pay for even us. Regardless, I wish you the best of luck. I believe you're all heading off not too long from now into grand fresh danger and an opportunity to use those things.
Yes. We're finally leaving the city.
I'm sure you're eager to return to the sands.
I am. We've been staying put too long.
It's fair. There are rangers who have, made this city their forest instead. Such a large place, easy for those to get lost in. I can imagine it's quite suffocating.
It is more that I feel that we are dragging our feet on our most important of duties.
All preparation is training for a grand final event, I'm sure. The you who is standing before me now is already nothing alike to the one who was here when first we met. I believe the same could be said for all of your companions, be their changes physical or otherwise. So, do not feel bad. And standing in one place doesn't mean you've become stagnant. You will give you a warm, sunshiny, everything's gonna be alright smile.
Alright.
And it's a good smile. It's a smile what make people happy.
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, next up, some investments need to be acquired. The businesses need to be moved into the bottom of Anai's manor. 3 shop fronts. And indeed, a lot of you are now just fucking flush with cash banuka, ready to sow those seeds and see what sprouts. I guess that's one way the metaphor could go.
That is correct, yes.
Of course, behold. A
Oh my
stage has been
god.
a stage has been set up with large leatherback chairs of like bent over metal. Dramatic lighting has been positioned over the lot of you. Maeve also sitting at the other foot of the chair.
Hell yes.
I suppose I'll stand.
No. Hold on. You come here. You rest on the other foot like a Conan girl.
Yeah, alright. Conan babe up instead.
And the dog can sit down
Oh,
here.
that's great. Yeah, no. You get the girl on the left, girl on the right, and the fucking wolf sitting, you know, like splayed between. And just looking.
And
Yeah.
the Kiro on the shoulder.
Of course. Look at that. That's
Yeah, they're
pristine. Gonna really go out of your way to just like intimidate the shit out of anyone who comes in here looking for a business.
Little
Yeah,
femboy with these
here-
two huge Amazons at his foot. Hell yeah.
That's definitely a
It
commission
did.
at some point.
Hell yeah.
Savin. You also have to have Kiro drawn as, you know, the scheming vizier.
No, she's gonna be my Dr. Evil cat. Just in the arms getting stroked.
Doctor No.
Very
I
classy.
said what I said.
But Kira doesn't want to become hairless and get frozen. A hairless ferret just looks like an angry penis. It's just a dick
Well,
with teeth.
I mean, if you remember, for the first part, before she got frozen, she had fur.
That's true. That's true. Just don't get fridged and everything will be fine. Alright. Now. I think it is time. You have put out the word, and probably notice boards, messages have been put up in all sorts of places, inviting those to, well, a chance at investments. There has already been a preliminary weeding of the chaff before this investment seeking goes on. Basically, make sure there are no scammers or anything particularly just like stupid or dangerously
no multi-level
illegal.
marketing here.
Yeah. They want to make sure that there are no pyramid schemes and nobody's like, my investment is put the money in the bag. None of that either.
Yeah, I've come on Dragon's Den today
man.
here with his gun, put 50,000 in the bag.
Yeah,
I'm here
I
for
want
4
someone to try
million
that shit with
pounds.
Ara here.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's like, you know, my business, I have won 4 million gold. Yeah, and what are you offering? No, I want 4 million gold. Rax Arquebus.
Radiant, just radiant breath.
Ara opens mouth as though yawning. Ashes stare back at you now.
That was it. She yawns and suddenly the dude is like, where the hell did this fucking gate come from? Where the hell does clouds come from?
Yeah.
Just stands at the pearly gates.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. I mean, there's no way that the Golden Dragon wasn't getting at middle seat in Dragon's Den.
Oh yeah,
Of course.
She's infinitely wealthier and more
It's
powerful
in the
than any of
name.
us.
She
Yeah.
is definitely way more wealthy than I am at this moment.
At this moment in time, yes. She probably, I would imagine her hoard is, just because it's not like that money just accumulates endlessly, her hoard is probably equivalent to your family's fortune, just on the basis that she isn't a bank. Like, the money that she has doesn't really get invested, it just sits there being a lot of fucking money. It's part of why she's taking part. This sounds like fun, and also, hey, a bigger hoard is a happy hoard.
Yeah.
If her hoard gets any bigger, she might actually lay an egg again.
Oh, you know how long it took to get Queenie to leave the nest? Queenie's so sweet and shy.
What was it? Probably like a couple 100 years.
Probably like 400 years, yeah.
Oh, little baby.
Baby.
Yeah, you've seen Queenie. She's a sweetheart and a softy pants. It was ages until she moved to the jungles. But, you know, she was also a very good girl.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the first of the businesses is going to be coming your way. And it is 2 individuals. They both appear to be elves of nondescript gender, let's say. Roll20 is, of course, lagging, so it's not punching out the token. There we go. You. And we will grab you. There you go. Totally nondescript. Could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
You never tell with elves.
Yep. And they approach with, seems to be a nice big black chalkboard. Some chalk, they wheel it in. Greetings, esteemed lords and ladies. We hope that you're doing well.
Hi.
Hello. Are all of you looking to invest or potential investors? Like, gestures. This is a lot of people. Or are you one big company?
We're different investors, and depending on how well you pitch, you may be able to get multiple of us to invest.
Oh, okay then. Well, the investment that we're seeking is for 5,000 gold, and it is to get a business off the ground where we have shop workers test items for curses. Now, I know what you're saying, or thinking, that just sounds like identifying, something along those lines. But a lot of identification spells don't reveal the qualities or effects of a curse as much as first-hand information does. And so we wanted to have a couple of wizards essentially perform initial identifications on things, and then depending on the rarity of the object involved, have workers test the magical items for their curses, take the curse on for you at the low price of entry for a lot of things, just even a few silver depending on it. We could find out what the curse on, say, like a hat does. And we figure that 5,000 is simply just the initial cost of getting a lab up in place and wizards on staff. Otherwise, the curse commission would be on whoever we end up employing. And I'm sure that some of these items will be that some items will be naturally a loss for us. Like, there's not much to gain out of it, and we can't charge much for it, or the instances of the curse are really harmful. But it really only takes a few magical items to break even or make even a great profit. I'm sure you'd hear as much from plenty of adventurers that's the case for magic items, but a lot of adventurers starting out will find something dangerous that's being sold suspiciously cheap, but they don't exactly have the money to find out what the curse does themselves.
Let's talk margins and percentages here. You're asking 5,000, yes? And what percentage of the business will we have for that?
They will both pause and murmur between each other. 10%. We take on the lion's share of all of the work and all the hands-on business, so you'd just be collecting 10% profits at the end of each quarter.
And your margins and sales to dates?
We don't have any sales to date. We've obviously run test cases to make sure that it can be done at least semi-safely. The only margin we have is a margin of error, and that error is so far that we've remained alive and unharmed, so things are looking okay.
Personally, so far as I'm hearing it, this is a rather risky investment, if I may say.
The risk is mostly on our part.
Well, yeah, but once that risk, triggers, what happens to you, and therefore the company, once, you get unlucky a couple times?
We won't be the ones taking on the curses ourselves. It'll be employees who will be coming to us for them.
And
Expendables. Is that
I
what
wouldn't
you're saying?
say expendables, but more like temporary staff. If a curse leaves someone indisposed for a long period of time, then they can't be expected to do lots of extra work. It would be like donating blood, I guess, in that, we can pay you for that blood, but obviously we're not going to pay you to keep giving us blood or you die, Essentially that, but for temporary workers and curses.
this seems like a lawsuit waiting to happen. Or a lot
It
of
very much
lawsuits.
does, yes.
We'd have a contract for them to sign.
A
And
contract would help, but it won't stop it altogether.
Yeah, this is gonna
we have
drown in legal
seen
fees.
What?
we've seen actual cursed objects. Well, burn the skeletons out of people's bodies.
Okay, that's a really extreme case, but also that kind of item is like not in the wheelhouse of a low budget operation is the one we're intending to run.
Well, how would you know? You don't know what a curse is gonna do until you trigger it. That curse was just on a coin.
They
It
both look.
skeleported
Wasn't that-
someone's skeleton out of them.
It
Turned him
was
into
a
goo.
ring.
It was a ring.
Whatever.
I'm afraid, ladies, to say that I don't see much profit or investability in curse triggering here, and I must say that I will declare myself out of this investment. I would recommend the same for you before you get too deep into it. It will be a money sink for you.
What if we chose only items that we were pretty sure had sexy curses on them, so people just go in to get cursed to get fucked up?
I mean, that would certainly be more fun, but again, you can't be sure and if you're gonna just trigger the thing. If you want my advice, you'd go invest in one or two wizards who just have legend lore. Open a shop that just deals in identifications.
That's the problem. That's really expensive, and that business exists, and it's not something that entry-level adventurers can do.
I mean,
We're looking to be a low-cost, low-impact alternative, just to make sure that the item isn't going to kill you.
at a certain
yes.
point, it's probably better for them to just take out a loan to get the thing identified properly.
With what collateral? To get a loan put in for a magic item, you have to be able to prove that it's not cursed.
A legend lore is only a couple hundred gold. Adventurers can earn that in one delve.
Only the very lucky, and most people who go on delves only come back with like 20 gold at most. You're asking for them to give up whole loads of all of their income, and that's most of their travel money, too. I apologize. I guess this business isn't for you.
I can see your idea on how
No,
it's
sorry.
going, but the sustainability of it is...
Yeah. It's a good... Your heart's in the right place, for sure. But I don't think this one has much of a future, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to say I'm out. Sorry.
I would like to see a revision of this whole concept. I think it's the idea is good. The fundamentals are missing, though.
A revision in
you-
what way? This is the cleanest way to do it on a low budget, low income necessity. Very well. And then, yeah, I think that's everyone who said they're out then.
Yeah, unless RR is going to invest in them.
Ara will shake her head and ponder for a moment. I like the idea, but I'm here primarily to invest in large businesses that don't put lives at risk. At the end of the day, That sounds like you could put lives at risk, and that's just not how I am. Sorry. The elves will share another look inside before packing their bags, taking their chalkboard away.
Squeaky, squeaky, squeaky.
Squeaky, 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 squeaky.
Yeah, the fact that, like, oh, we're hiring people to take on a curse. It's like,
oh yeah, no, it is in retrospect a very evil business, but it's cheap.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like let's just
it's
let's
like
just,
it's like signing up for
exploit.
clinical trials at a company that is evil.
I don't
Yeah,
mind
it's
the
like,
original
oh,
idea,
you
but
know, these fucking broke ass people. How about I offer them a contract for money, and they
Yeah.
just have to test this curse.
It's
Like,
foolproof, or so they thought.
I don't mind the idea, and their heart is in the right place, trying to find a cheap alternative for figuring out curses, but
not this way
just
though.
simply testing it like that, no.
Okay. The next individual will approach, and it appears to be a rather tired-looking, bearded individual. He has all of the classic trappings of a wizard. Bushy beard, old dusty
say so.
cloak.
I hope this is a guy I think it is.
And he has not brought a chalkboard, but instead has a particularly large staff which he clinks on the floor. And up
Is he
springs
minor illusioning?
Yes, he is minor illusioning his presentation.
Hell yeah.
On the screen, big air quotes, is a series of rings. One appears to be made of gold, and one appears to be made of silver. Greetings, noble investors. My name is Jacob, and I have designed a magical item that I wish to see put into mass production. A feat that is renowned for being difficult. Mass production in and of itself is something that requires machinery, engineering, and timing, and a regular, reliable supply chain. I wish to do this for a magical item, and that is why I am requesting 10,000 gold.
All right, Jacob. What does your magical item here do?
These rings are couples rings. He will gesture at the board and shows the rings like linked together between one another and then coming and sliding separate. As it stands, they are, as far as I have constructed them, quite cheap to produce, and they are effective for allowing couples over long distances to know that they are thinking of one another. Say you have a partner who travels away on business for a long time, or goes adventuring while you yourself do not. The idea that you have a ring on your person so that they always know that you're in your thoughts and heart seems like an untouched niche.
I do like the idea. How much does it take you to make a ring, and how much are you selling them for?
The rings themselves I am selling at 100 gold for a pair.
In the make?
Costs about, well, they're batch produced. It's about 40 gold per ring at the moment.
So
you're
80 for
making
the set?
60, you're making 60 off a ring currently.
Yes, it is 60 gold profit per ring. Of course, this profit is not taking into account renting shop space and advertising and all of those other kinds of things, but as a starting profit feels like a good one, at least to me.
It is
And I
not
hope to
bad.
you.
So far, 60% margin at start isn't terrible. You've mentioned 10,000 is the amount you're seeking here. How much of your company are you giving away for that?
I hate the idea of giving away. I would instead be more interested in a partnership. I myself am a wizard of no small amount of talent. As you see, I've created such things as well in the past. Instead, I would like to be able to reliably gift you all with prototypes for these and other magical pieces of equipment that I craft. 10,000 gold would be a share of my profits for the rest of the business's existence, or say contracts pursuant to be refitted every 100 years, to be taken on by my children as and when they inherit the company. He gestures for the sake of the ones that he can see up, the obviously ageless ones here at this table.
Pretty much everyone at the table.
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he himself is human, but he's like, look, I know a contract has to extend past my lifetime. So, it would be a contract pursuant to my heirs or to whoever is assigned to take control of my company afterwards.
The fox nods along so far, seemingly satisfied with his explanations.
Both foxes even?
About 2% of the profits per 1,000 gold of the initial opening, and you all get a prototype.
Ooh.
I'd like to, possibly to confer a little bit privately with the dragons here, if you wouldn't mind.
Of course, not a problem, lady. And then, he will gesture, and his minor illusion will turn to a waiting screen that says, be right back, and he will walk out of the room so that you can all deliberate.
I like his presentation.
All right.
I do like the presentation, but here's the thing I'm thinking about these rings.
Yes.
They react when you think about your partner, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That is what he explained so far.
Yes, I was thinking about that. Yeah, it's like...
Over
yeah,
any
that's
distance.
definitely gonna...
Yeah. I'm thinking...
that is gonna hurt some couples that aren't.
Well, that
she just
too,
taps
but... That's good for their health long term if they find that out pretty quick. I'm thinking more like, what if you use it to find out, your partner's okay,
That
Yeah.
would work too, yes.
especially would
there's
be
a
attractive
different...
for adventure, for couples that aren't one is an adventurer and one is not.
Mm-hmm. Or
Like,
even
I
both,
really
if
like
they
the
get
idea
separated.
as it is, yeah.
Separated
It's
in
not
the
about
labyrinth.
couples. Listen. It just taps. It taps a little bit in rhythm. If you can learn to time and see how it reacts, you can start sending messages by pulses.
Like, these
Oh my God,
rings
that's
are
kind of
also...
genius.
Yeah.
These are also just good for the buddy system.
Yeah. These are really good rings, actually.
What if they what if they were made to also, well, rather unfortunate, but what if they snapped in half when one wielder or holder dies?
Or you get just...
I hate that I was also thinking that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Or instead of snapping, it sends like can't send, no recipient, like that.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the better idea, yeah. I don't like the idea of it.
Although the ring breaking though is a good way to ensure that there will be repeat cut. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're actually right. The ring breaking would ensure repeat business.
That's horrible.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone's going to be giving away their couple's ring when a partner dies.
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
I don't think it changes the resale.
No. It's also
here's the thing,
pair
though.
linked anyway, so it's not like it helps.
This is true.
Which will help if they're pair linked like that. They will help them find wherever if they're kidnapped, or if they die, then you can find the body where they died.
Well, you definitely be able to
locate
scrap
object
for
is-
it, but I don't think that's how the ring works right now.
So just
Yeah.
No, but
out of
locate
character.
object definitely exists.
Yeah.
Like
Like some
He's
sort
offering-
of divination.
Yeah, but
It would
Offering-
probably
Yeah,
be
but
a lot easier to simply scry on.
One of them, please let Ariel finish.
Just to make sure, like offer-wise, so it's 10,000 total investment between us and 2% profit of his stuff.
2% profit for each 1,000 put in. So like if you guys spread
each
out the
1,000.
10,000 amongst
Okay.
you, then you're getting 2% per 1,000.
Okay.
So it'd be up
Yeah.
to 20% of the business.
So it's 20%. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
up to 20%.
he's getting up 20% of the company.
And yeah, hell, we could sell them at the casino.
I
Yeah.
will have storefronts that he could use.
Yeah, but also at the casino,
And-
there's no reason there can't be multiple storefronts.
Yeah.
No, there's not.
Yeah, really.
I will say this, like, if we can use that for learning to, as communication devices, this have incredible potential.
It just
Yeah,
sounds
there's
like
some way
everyone's
to-
been. It sounds like everyone's just been agreeing with each other for 10 minutes.
This is correct.
All
Yeah.
right, yeah.
So what, there's 8 of
there's-
us, so what, we put in like 1,200 a pop?
I think
Sure.
so.
I could do that.
If that's how the
Okay.
maths.
All right. Eventually, the gentleman will come back in and then wave his hand at the "Be Right Back" board. And it shows the rings yet again. Have you deliberated?
We have, yes.
We are all very impressed with this product, and we think it has a lot of potential.
Well, that's very promising to hear. I worried that something as simple wouldn't be received quite as receptively.
Well, sometimes the simple things are the best in life. In fact, it's got everybody on the stage interested.
Ah, well, then, yeah, here, if you would like to try them out, I have brought samples with me.
Yes, very much so.
I had to make sure I could craft them, obviously, before I started even considering mass production. And he will hold
I
out.
should brought my wife with me.
Yeah.
Luckily, I brought 2 of mine.
Unfortunately, I don't think they'll fit on mine. That's why I have this instead. She'll clink her torque.
It should be able to resize. It is a magic item. And it takes a few minutes of holding it and concentrating on it, but you should find it will slip onto a digit.
Actually, that does bring up a question. Can they be linked to more than one ring at a time? Say for... Cass will just gesture at his 2 waifus.
Of course. That would be in the realm of custom orders. Certainly doable, but it is, as you might expect, more expensive. Suddenly you have multiple connections and you need to make sure they aren't interrupting each other. Thankfully, that problem is also the reason mass production is possible. Otherwise, you would be risking making a batch of rings that all interact with each other. Thankfully, that can't happen by liberty of it being difficult.
Good.
Yeah,
Very
he'll hand you
well.
2 rings so you can try it out. Maeve will
Yeah.
put out a hand.
Yeah.
After a minute's consideration, the ring settles itself in comfortably. And Maeve will close her eyes and do a little ponder and imagine, and you feel your finger get warm.
Aww. Meanwhile, Mives is just like red hot and just doesn't stop the whole time.
Connected
Yeah,
to a
it's
cast.
very much like a very gentle warmth while she is considering you.
Cass will try and like, yeah, do the just think of Mives,
Gonna
stop,
try
stop
it.
hard, think a little, stop, think a little, stop. See if he can work a rhythm up.
Maeve looks like she's trying to sense it, but she's clearly having a difficulty, and then she'll try and do the same to you, and you feel that like the warmth has a decay rate to it, so like it doesn't just be warm, be cold, be warm, be cold. Like since it's this slow transition, it's very hard to get anything resembling a code out of it. If you wanted to try and pass a message in binary, for instance, or Morse, it would take a long fucking time to get open and closed done.
It would take
True,
a
but
long
it's also-
time, but not impossible.
It's not impossible. It's true.
And it's also
You could probably figure out an SOS. That would be better.
yeah, and
Very simple message.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Like just a
and
help.
it's also a prototype, so as things get refined,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
could certainly make them more complicated, but that increases the cost of a magical item and starts to take it back out of the mass production realm.
I think
Is
as
it
they are
possible
their
to
time,
enchant them further after mass production for luxury versions?
Yes, if you happen to use luxury materials in the first place, I think that would be amenable to enchantment like any magic item, as opposed to these technically mundane, although I wouldn't call a Ring of Feelings mundane by any measure. The materials are a lot
we get what
cheaper
you
than
mean.
your standard enchanting, yes.
Yeah.
You could, for instance, make an entire ring of complex woven metals studded with gems, and then suddenly, yes, it could be a ring of fondness and also a ring of set fire to some jerk who's attacking you.
Yeah. Like I said, I think this product has a lot of potential for expansion, too. But even the initial concept's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Very well.
So yeah, I'm definitely
I'm
in.
willing.
How about you ladies?
I'm into.
I'm in. I'm willing to put in 1,000 of it, and
Yeah.
provided you are willing, a second 1,000 in the form of a storefront, a place where you can manufacture them and sell them, without rent on it, of course. That way, I get the profit from it.
I already have, well, not my own tower. I rent space in a tower. Is there living space accompanied to the shop, or?
I'm afraid not.
Okay, no, that's fine. A point of sales is certainly something that wouldn't be amiss. I would probably have to look into staffing for such a thing, which admittedly is not my specialty as far as connections are concerned, but I assume that that's within your purview then.
Yeah,
as
that
it
is
a
definitely
shop you
my
own.
specialty.
It is within our purview.
Very
After
well.
all, we'll be a partnership.
I have no reason to disagree. Instead, changing this charge to 9,000, and yours would be a 4% stake with a shop front and 1,000.
Yes.
Very well.
Yeah, I think you can count on 3 grand from the Horniers here.
Count
another
right,
1,000
that's your
from
surnames.
me.
Sorry.
I can definitely count in from me.
Oh, I took
Y'all
12. I
interested.
took 1,200 off. Am I only using?
Yeah, I
one?
think we were all about to do 1,200. Then Amxal threw in the wrench there with the.
Well, no, because Cass just said 3,000, and I took off
Yeah,
12,000 already.
Yeah, let me do
Yeah,
the math
yeah,
here. So we
1,200.
got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so hold on. So it's 8.
Technically,
You
Anai
don't
is
have
doing
an even out.
Technically, Anai is doing 2K, so it's just 8K between the rest of you is what you need to figure out.
Yeah, I'm just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So technically, we need to put in like 1150 each. So yeah, that'll be for each of us.
Oh, okay, hang on.
Okay.
I need to make. Have I made you guys a sheet?
And then we'll
for,
just
like,
figure out that
investments
where
yet?
that funky
I don't think you
2%
have
goes
it.
from.
You know what? I'm adding it to your stronghold sheets. I'm giving you guys an investment portfolio.
Hell yeah!
I like it. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I guess only one person should be in there, like editing it. So, who wants to do
leave
it?
leave it to me. If you guys can help out, I will give you an investment portfolio.
No, everyone edit it at once.
Curse
Make it a
you!
nightmare. We're never gonna get. The session will never end.
Okay, so oh my god, this is ridiculous. I'm actually writing up shares percentage, and so I have to get my calculator out. 2.3% profits. Oh god, I'm getting like weird flashbacks, guys.
Go back to accountant land.
I wanted to make
really
it. I was trying to make an
feel
even amount. That way, it was easier.
It's fine. It's okay. Let's see. Six. The Ralu and Maiev combo is 6.9% profits. Nice.
Hell yeah.
And now I'm just going to double my maths backwards and make sure that that all adds or sums back to 0 again.
Oh, right, you were an accountant.
Yeah, you forgot.
Yes. yeah. And I do, in fact, I can't just leave the number undouble checked, you know?
Yeah, no, you should definitely double check, make sure it adds up back to being the proper percentage that we're being given.
I was trying to remember what flashbacks meant, then I realized, oh yeah, that.
Okay, let's see.
Rip.
What's that?
Just accounting stuff.
That picture did not come through.
You just
Because
click
the
on
Reddit
it,
photo.
it'll open.
Oh.
Because Reddit does not play nice and doesn't want to make like .jpg stuff. Or rather, they don't want to make like
I put the other one.
.bpg.
Yeah, I put the other one in VCT.
And a sensible chuckle.
My favorite magazine.
I gotta watch Parks and Rec at some point.
It's really good.
I knew I shouldn't have trusted the napkin math of 1,150. I'm like, that doesn't add up at all. And it does not. That comes out short.
Yeah.
I tell non-Americans that if you want to experience America without spending the plane ticket, watch King of the Hill and Parks and Rec, and you'll have a pretty good idea of what goes on here.
Listen, the only reason
hate that
Parks and
that's
Rec is
accurate.
worth watching is for Ron Swanson.
I am right?
Yeah.
Just watch King of the Hill and Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, you'll have everything you need to know.
Yeah, that's the primer to America right there.
The premier reason to watch Parks and Rec is Ron Swanson.
Ron Swanson is great, and Nick Offerman is a really cool guy in real life.
He is, yeah.
And the worst thing about King of the Hill is the fact that there's an entire subculture
What do you mean worst?
of Westaboos in
the
Japan.
best, though.
That's the best part. It's very funny. They get in arguments whether or not you should listen to it in English or in Japanese.
It's their sub or dub moment. Should it be subbed or should it be dubbed?
Wait, you did it? Hang on, let me pull it up. I'll put it in VCT, saving it's hilarious.
It's the sub and dub argument just for like the Japanese fans.
I'm sure there's a lot of that in every language.
It's just the funniest when it's coming out of Japan.
It is.
Yeah, this was part of the interview, and this is the one that everyone knows. I'll put it in VCT.
Yeah, I feel like King of the Hill is one of those shows that's just very rooted in our culture.
There's like a remake or
There you
reboot
go.
of this
Now at the
soon.
bottom, it is now no longer called Strongholds. It is called Strongholds and Investments.
Outstanding.
It is very wild.
I'm not in there.
Oh, sorry, I haven't typed you up.
This is great, but also fuck you for this guy's name.
My bad.
Oh.
Well, hey, it's Jacob's Rings of Fondness. Be happy it's not Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah.
Or just called Jake's Ring. There you go, Musk is now here as well. Sweet. Alright, yeah, we'll head off to the side. I'm gonna like make a little section GM layer for successful people who are being successful.
Yay, hooray. I'll go ahead and take 1,000 off my sheet then. Down to 49.
Woe is you.
I know, right?
Okay. The next person to enter appears to be a particularly large tattoo lady. You know, a very classic look as far as all are concerned. Where I had it open. Where'd you go? There you work. And she enters with a large selection of animals following her in. You can see that there is a particularly large and proud-looking unicorn, a bunch of small foxes that look to be about, I don't know, maybe vaguely shin height, with little poofy fire tips for tails instead of actual tails. She smiles and will tip her hood back and reveal that upon her head is also a kitten.
Cass claps. He's already loving this.
Yeah.
An impressive menagerie.
Oh, it's this person.
Yes. Greetings, dragons. My name is Marcel, and this is my, indeed, magical menagerie. There are a great deal, many more of them around, but I did not want to flood this location with beasts. The unicorn snorts, as if to be annoyed at being compared to a mere beast. She will scoff and pat them on the neck, and the unicorn will go quiet again. Yes. I wanted to offer specialist services for adventurers in particular. As you can obviously see by your own selves, you are a lucrative market. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say so.
Those are successful in the business, yes.
Like,
She
everyone
will-
just looks around and we're all wearing, like, really expensive clothes.
Yeah,
and
loads of
gold.
expensive clothes, and then in particular she'll nod to you, Cass, and indicate your ferret and your doggo.
My ferret, my doggo, and my catto.
yeah. She will smile
Your
faintly.
bear, your dragon.
Yep, yeah, exactly. She will smile faintly. I want to train magical beasts, maybe complicated ones, particularly intelligent creatures, to be adventuring companions. Much like a hireling, instead, these would be like find a familiar, but a very familiar. A trained familiar, one who has been an adventurer or has been in the company of adventurers for extended periods of time. Take Munchkin here, for example. She'll gesture at the unicorn. Munchkin has worked with 4 professional adventuring parties, and it was in fact his idea that it would be a lot easier if there were a business to connect him with adventuring groups for short periods of time. A contract basis. And I wanted to make a business that would facilitate this and facilitate the training of more familiars. More than I alone can do. Otherwise, I will spend my entire life working and with very little chance to enjoy their company myself.
Essentially renting out familiars, then.
Yes.
All right, then. Have you put this into practice yet? Any contracts, gains to speak of?
I do have a contract lined up for Munchkin here. He's going to be moving on to a new adventuring party in the next month, I believe. A group that's going to be sailing to the Eastern Isles and wanted to be sure that they had a steed that could be trusted. Especially with a lot of boat travel. Thankfully, Munchkin's pretty good with boats. Indeed, you would be able to rent a familiar's contract based on a period of time or the locations that you're going to. Trained sharks and dolphins, for instance, wouldn't do you much good here, but would probably do you a lot of good in the East. Steeds, like Munchkin, or familiars who are more adept at assisting with lock picking. I happen to have a couple of spiders who are good at this. Fey spirits in a lot of cases, too. They have their own specialities, and my interest would be in providing that specifically, instead of expecting one wizard's familiar to take on all of these shapes and expect to just be the jack of all trades. It's not really fair on them, and it's not fair on you as the needy consumer.
Right, then. Let's talk investment-wise. How much are you looking for?
Let's talk safety first.
How much are you looking for, and how much are you willing to offer for it?
I'm willing to offer 25% of the company. What I'm after is 1,000 gold to acquire stock and 500 gold initial one-off payment to handle the initial running. Essentially, I can't make a profit on anyone I'm training until I have a batch of familiars out the door, essentially.
So 1,500 for 25%.
That's right, yes.
What about your familiar safety? And how in case of their injuries or potential demise, how is that affected?
There is a pretty... There is a high risk of danger that comes to familiars, just like any torchbearer would. The familiar tends to have a lineage, or at the very least an initial owner, and there would be a cost implicit in refunding them the full value of their expected lifetime. Some familiars, however, are immortal, for want of a better phrase. She points at the kitten that sat on her head. That's actually a fairy. If they perish, they'll just reappear back at home.
Yeah.
It's well good for some of them.
I've been doing plenty of adventuring, and like a mundane spider, it wouldn't even be the adventurer's fault if that died. It's just...
Oh no, none of them are mundane by any measure. There is at least fey in their blood by the least of means.
Alright, like, how durable are we talking about for these things? Because just one errant fireball or small trap can spell the doom for most small creatures.
They are strong enough to avoid dying, indirect hits and fire. Especially friendly fire, quite resilient in that instance. Some might even say that they're a minion that automatically passes saves for half when it comes to friendly fire.
If they're minions, that's sort of a problem, though.
Well, no, they
just automatically pass saves against friendly fire.
They automatically pass saves from friendlies, and they have the minion rule for offensive attacks.
I'm not sure if I missed this part. This is out of character. Did she say what happens if one of them gets popped? Do they have the ability to resummon their familiar back to them, or
Only some
It
of
depends
them.
on the familiar. Some of the familiars
Some of them,
have enough
some
say
of
in
some
them
of
to
them
do
are
that, but
torchbearers, a la humans, who are also, minions who
yeah?
die in one hit.
Well, I also meant that it like if the familiar died and like obviously this lady's not going to be around. They're on the other side of the world. Can they resummon it, or is it like a one-time thing?
Sounds like something Ralu should ask her.
Yeah, we hadn't asked that question yet. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Raleigh will ask that question then.
Yeah, fair enough. That is a fair point. I suppose no. In the case where a respawning familiar is vanquished, for want of a better phrase for it, then no, there wouldn't be a way to resummon them. But that's also why the rental is much more affordable than the spell in the first place.
Fair enough.
How much are you charging for a rental? Just as a baseline 1 expedition sort of thing?
Baseline 1 expedition. 1 second, the DM has to look at the hireling prices, but essentially half the price of a human hireling who can do the same job. Just they have that one specific job.
Yeah, this one's very deep in mechanics.
Yeah.
yes. And following that, how are you managing on collection of these contracts and making sure that some people do not simply just run off with the familiar?
Well, they're all thoroughly well trained. If someone tried to go default on a familiar, the familiar would escape or cease work or forcibly have itself resummoned. You can't abuse them, they're still sentient. And slavery is abuse, no matter what anyone else might say.
Raleigh just side eyes.
She's not making eye contact with Ralu when she says it, but being the only manticore in the party, she probably meant you.
Hang on, I'm not evil anymore.
I know. But now you've had the opportunity to see why people might see what normality might be evil. Wait a second. Right, so good.
So like a normal footman would be like 15 GP, right? Higher for a month. So this lady's charging like $7 for a little familiar. I mean, that's pretty damn good, actually.
No,
$7 for like a spider that will give you advantage on all of your like trapping checks.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's...
no, this is actually a real like I said in the what was it 10 minutes ago. This is actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
Cass is gonna just nod along. Yeah, I think this is a pretty cool idea.
The only reason I haven't... Oh, that is wonderful news. The only reason I haven't essentially done it myself is just because there is just an initial cost of living, training, and acquisition in the front that I can't pay. Otherwise, the business starts paying for itself once they start running contracts.
Well, I think this is going to be a beautiful partnership, because I know plenty of young up-and-coming adventurers who would probably benefit from this quite a lot.
Excellent. Tell you what, are you planning any expeditions or any associate adventures?
We are, but... And Cass will just open his sleeve and little Kiro just pops out. I am something of a wizard myself.
I suppose you won't be needing one of them yet. Well, in which case, though, should you ever require any of their specific assistance, I'd have offered Munchkin's help, but as I said, I've already got a contract organized for him. That unicorn will nod idly.
Yeah. This would probably be great for, say, if Loam there needed to go off on a solo hunt.
Loam, you should rent a spider friend.
What's the spider for?
Gives you advantage on skill.
Yeah.
Oh.
That is a skill check advantage machine. Well, if the Lady Loam there is your scout, I would recommend one of my owls.
Desert owls are cool.
That'd be a hoot.
They're so cute.
I love them so much.
I will mark off 1,500 GP.
Oh, you're doing the whole thing yourself?
Yeah.
Cass got
Yeah,
basically.
it's Dragon's Den.
Big Cat Cass leapt to the chair and then offered the hand straight away. Clever.
Yeah. Dragon's Den is, yeah, that's how it works. It's like,
It
Yeah,
is
no,
the
no, I
Dragon's
know,
Den.
general.
I know. It's just funny. To me.
Look, someone came in here being like, "I sell magical animals." It was
Yeah,
very hard for
go
me to
on.
not just immediately be like,
Yeah.
"Deal, I'm in."
Listen, there's one coming up that I already know that Ralu's gonna bowl people over to pay for. So
Huh?
I got
I
that
mean,
one.
I think I know which one you're talking about, and you might have a little bit of competition.
I only have about 600 gold.
I'll have you know that you refuse to join MMM. Get out of here.
I got like maybe 800 more in me to, because I want to save like a whole lot for a house.
Oh,
Buying
that's true.
someone neighbor's
Yeah.
house.
You're
Yep,
buying
makes
a
sense.
whole ass house. It would be very funny if you came home and after all this planning, you said you blew all your money.
Yeah.
Oops.
I mean, to be fair, that's just
I'll say-
delaying the house for a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we're still like in a stronghold turn way for like 2 more months.
Honey, I diversified all our assets.
I will say this. I will say this.
That sounds like something my dad would say.
Yeah. It'd be like I hear like I have 600 in me, maybe 800 here. I'd be like, man, I'm in the fucking thousands. That's the reason why I go to the fucking casino.
I have 3,000 gold in investments.
Yeah.
Yeah, which includes me, in fact.
Yes.
In-game June, I get to run all of your deductibles.
Woohoo!
I think it's June.
You've
Wait,
done
no,
this
it's...
to yourself.
You're right, no, 1st of April's already come by. It's April 30th is when you guys get your investments.
Oh.
Your taxes. Oh god, I gotta do fantasy taxes.
No.
You don't have to. You just say
I
no.
I just finished doing real life taxes at the end of the year. I'm paying like 4 point something K. I hate it.
Oh.
This
I hate
is
it.
why you.
Oh,
This is why you
4.7K.
like-
God, that must be so awful.
I don't
Yeah.
have that much money. Yeah, I can't afford that yet.
I love being
Well, don't worry, this
blue
is why you
collar
love
since I
Karin.
was 17. The government just gives me money every year. Because I basically signed the thing where the government takes a big chunk of my paycheck, and then in January, when I usually do my taxes, I get it back. Except this year, as you all know, it took me forever for the government to give me the $1,200 that they owed me. And that was from 2023. No, 2022.
And this is why Skow likes Karin, because taxes?
What taxes?
Zit. I run the goddamn soup kitchen. Fuck your asses.
Yeah. There you go. Martial's magical menagerie familiar rental is on. As you've been warned, she essentially needed that input because yeah. She will be giving 100 back to you at the end of the year, so I'm just reporting that as 1,400 so that you get to skip tax on it. Wink.
Nice.
You're giving her 1,500, but really you're giving her 1,400, and she's giving you 100 back. But you know the taxman doesn't need to know that.
Yeah.
Who would I be paying taxes to?
The
That's
city.
all right.
I don't live in
That boss.
Lastorado.
Unfortunately, you
businesses
work
do.
here, so
Oh.
Yeah, if
It's-
if you're investing in a business that is here, then you have an investment, and that means
Kira,
the
you're
taxes
not
are
a fucking
generated by
sovereign
the city.
citizen.
yeah.
don't know.
Unfortunately,
I don't
like
know, Loam
with a
might
lot
be.
of countries, even in the real world, if you like have a visa and start working there, even if you don't, if you're not a citizen there, you're still paying taxes for the time you're there. Which is
Loam is not driving, she's traveling.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
In
Loam
my
might actually
vessel?
be a sovereign citizen.
She could be. If she wanted to, she could.
Like, I don't think it's a far stretch.
And
gotta
to be
pay
fair, we
taxes if you yank
do
ass me.
travel around in a vessel in this campaign.
You
We
do,
are
except
kind of
the merchant. It is,
nudge-
it is a merchant vessel. You're traveling around in a caravan. You fucking shivers.
It's just we ask Loam how she's able to not pay taxes. She just finger guns and just says crime.
tax evasion is a human right.
Oh god.
Actually,
I'm
I
like
love this
actually
game.
breaking out into an anxiety sweat thinking about taxes. Like,
Then
oh,
don't do it.
Yeah, I can't just don't think about money.
Just don't
I hate
think.
it. I hate it.
Well, I mean, don't think about like the fantasy ones.
I mean, to be fair, it's the real life ones that I'm sweating over.
Well, yeah, I know those are the ones you can actually sweat over, but like, don't worry about doing like the fantasy ones. Like, I don't think anybody really wants to do those.
Too bad.
All right,
I remember it was. Did you know that the very first version of D&D actually had a tax system for inheritance tax? For when your character died and you inevitably was like, we're gonna be like,
it was a torchbearer's agreement for the state.
yeah. So the government got 10% of all your shit every time one of your characters died.
That's fucked up.
This is why I also love the fact that the Dracula the Mourner talking about Merkborg.
Huh?
It's Dracula the Mourner, the Swedish version of Dungeons and
Mordborg.
Dragons, which was which was based on like the second edition, had an actual class, the Merchant, and an actual tax system.
Hell yeah.
You could literally level up from 1 to whatever level it was as a merchant.
Ooh,
And you had ducks.
that's an exotic
Sweet
place to
sauce
see
like
here in
ducks.
the desert.
Yeah.
Oh.
A particularly
sure.
large shark lady will walk in.
Dork. Is that one of the crime sharks?
Nope.
No.
Oh, okay.
That was why I was taking a minute. Actually, I was double checking that I hadn't accidentally pulled out a crime shark.
Like,
Easy to
it's not a
tell.
horse
They're
shark,
they're close, but not that close, thankfully.
That'd do it, yeah.
Yeah. This shark stomps their way along. Greetings, esteemed ladies. I come to you with a very simple, I think at least it's simple, business opportunity. You see, I have come into the possession of a magical item called the Pot of Ill Luck. It
Go on.
is, in and of itself, a gambling game. I just require a venue for it that's legitimate. It's all well and good doing this kind of thing in the back alleys, but that's only going to last for so long before I get stabbed. See, the Pot of Ill Luck awards the amount of money that's put in by everybody to the person with the least luck, as dictated by Python. The loser wins with this thing. If everyone was to put money in, and the incantation by the pot's wielder, myself, is performed, the pot will award that money to the least lucky person to have put their cash in. Not only is it a particularly fun betting game, I get to take a cut of the profits each time, but a lot of people feel very vindicated when they can definitively say they are the unluckiest person there.
Dude, I own a casino. Do you want to just come set up shop there? That sounds hilarious.
What's the cut that you take away from the game as well?
I just take a gold out every time a bet is made. It means the minimum entry is always like 5.
You came for investment, and then Cass just offers her employment.
I came for an investment and I left with a job. Mission failed successfully?
I mean, that is the Python dice for you.
And each person entering can only bet once, or...
Oh no, they can put in as many times as they want if they, think that there's someone even luckier than their infamously bad luck. I have had people who have each one at being most unlucky go head to head to see, no, really, who is least lucky. And that was a very profitable day. It was the tournament of losers.
Perhaps it was just the wizard in me thinking.
Started a fight, and that's when I decided that I kind of needed a venue.
Yeah, like
perhaps
one with
just the wizard
security.
in me thinking, but how does your magical item decide unluckiest?
I don't know, Python just does.
Cass rattles his Python die.
Finger pistols at Khassid.
Cass, I know
I'd
for sure it isn't you.
suppose I could let you take a look at it if you aren't sure.
Yeah.
No touchy.
Why don't we
I
just play a
can,
game right now?
yeah.
Let's see who
Yeah.
amongst us is the least lucky.
I'll not just play the game, but I would examine it if you would allow me.
Sure, but no touchy.
Of course.
Give me an Arcana test.
Sure.
I'll assist.
Arcana. How about a 26?
Yeah. Technically, this is a low-impact bowl of communion. Quite literally, it's the equivalent of throwing a lot of money in the pot for one very specific weal or woe to Python. And Python picks out the most woeful person of everyone who put the money in.
That's hilarious.
I see. Intriguing.
Yep. Super simple. I happened to get it off of a guy who, well, let's just say his luck ran out. Not like a gangster, his luck ran out kind of thing. But I mean, quite literally, I think he stood in a bucket, tripped off of a balcony, fell into a thorny rose bush, and then got actually hit by a crate full of food goods from the balcony above that one.
Wow.
That is unfortunate.
Duckles.
Does my Arcana tell me, like, does this eventually just, like, sap, like, the, I assume fate-bound person's, like, luck away?
You can tell that this person's the one fate-bound to it, but if there is a curse like that, you certainly can't see it.
I
Or
guess.
detect
Does
it.
it have a secret on it?
It has a secret on it, yes, but it does not appear to have had a negative impact on her. If only you had people who could test curses for you. Wait a second.
Alright, yeah. So who wants to put a fucking gold piece in there? Let's go.
Please,
That's
5
fine,
GPM tray, and I take 1 gold out. Even for would-be investors, or in this case, employers. Pleasure to work for you, boss.
Yeah, I'll go for it.
I chuck a 10 in. Let's go with a straight 10.
I'll
Alright.
abstain from it. I will warn you, however, there is some secret to that ball that I wasn't able to discern.
Oh, no, don't worry about that. The secret's alright.
Oh?
I
you have it
mean, now
figured out,
I'm
then?
just curious.
You know, wouldn't be a secret if I told you.
Well, so long as it doesn't cause you any ill, then.
No, it doesn't cause anyone any ill, so far as I can tell. And yeah, alright. Everyone who put cash in, roll me a D100.
Hell yeah. Oh.
Karin is so the opposite of unlucky. Remember, it's loser wins. Karin
I
is
know.
definitely never making that money back.
Yeah, I feel like he just, the ball just goes to the swivel to Karin, then just gets fucking repelled like an anti-gravity shoot.
Yeah,
Darn.
everyone else puts their money in first, and the moment Karin's coin pops it, you hear the sound of rattling dice. Like, it's just a very nostalgic noise in general. And then all the money is spat out into Masika's lap.
Awesome.
Except for 3 gold coins, which the lady will reach into and pluck out before pocketing.
So
This
plus
is-
17.
This
Yep.
is the most cast character you could have added to this roulette.
I didn't expect Dragon's Den to be so cast-spelled.
Yeah, I mean, that'll
To
be
be fair,
better.
no, actually, and I did also. There's only been 3 people, and I has also already gotten an employee. So never mind. I guess it's pretty fair on board.
Yeah, I'm waiting for, like, something more than just gambling or cheap curse detection.
Fair.
Well,
Expendable curse detection. Say
Yeah.
it as it,
Yeah, that was
say it as it is.
Yeah, I'm
that was
just gonna.
almost something.
I'm just gonna add Suzanne to. I guess you won't accept anything. I'm just gonna add her to your facilities and add her to your cost per turn and income.
Woo!
Give me a sec here.
as soon as she started talking about Python Gamba, like Cass's eyes
Yeah.
lit up, and then Loam and Ralu's eyes just glazed over.
Yeah, we-
did stop.
To be fair, it was more like as soon as you said like, "Oh yeah, I'm looking to take this gambling game professional." Like, well, I have a casino. Boy, do I have an offer for
she
you.
did not know that
really.
she was doing the casino. All right.
I've done this side quest before in New Vegas. Ring a ding, baby.
Bring it in. There you go. Suzanne, with the pot of poor fortune, has been put onto your facilities. Your cost and income have been adjusted.
Hell yes.
Okay.
I think you might need to hit the save button.
I did.
No.
It should just be at the top and under your stronghold. Under facilities, bottom of the list of facilities. Divine
Okay,
Sanctuary
it's
Protection.
there now. It's there now.
Okay, cool. Alright, good. I was worried for a second there.
Yeah, I just had to close and reopen.
Alright, cool. Cool. Does the shop have fact? No, it seems to be full fam.
Alright, see, it could be more of a cast character.
No, this is the character that the cast instead plays as, so that they get fucked by a twink with a huge dick.
Hell yeah.
As it be. Alrighty. I'm gonna have a rummage around in some other ones.
Cass has 75 gold left.
Nice.
Yeah, but you have like 7,500 investments going.
Yeah, I'm set for life. As I mean, I had a casino to begin with.
You were already set. You're just set for life here.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
very
now you have money to go on vacation with.
the very definition of diversifying your portfolio.
Yeah, your gambling portfolio has extra gambling in it. Wait a second.
He's got he's also invested in other stuff. So
Yeah. I know.
like he's got a pet thing now, and then a magic ring thing.
This is very front loaded for Cass. He's just gonna. No, hold on, wait a second. I know what to do here. Let me just. Alright, perfect.
Alright, now it's Mive's turn in the chair. Of course.
That seems like cheating to me.
Hey, we're all putting in our own gold anyway. Mive will.
Yeah, it's like
We just happen to be, Okay, maybe it is cheating, I guess. We're convening, but quickly and reliably in a 3 instead of a 8. Shifty eyes. Jinkle's coin pass. Jingle.
Just get married, Fivehead.
Yeah. Look at all the benefits you get from
You have a
having
boy.
not just one, but 2 whole spouses. Did you know you get a tax break on it?
for extra spouses.
Yeah.
Yes, I did know about that actually.
Huh.
Yeah, that's like a huge part of your dad's portfolio, probably.
Ralu just salutes.
Yeah, and Anai's dad does happen to have a shitload of wives. Huh.
So we do have a lot of wives and a lot of siblings. It's a lot of tax breaks from it.
That's a lot of plus ones.
Yeah. Plus all the dependents. Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad we don't have any kids. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a kid just for a tax break.
I'm gonna name you Tax Break. Alrighty.
Daddy, why is my middle name Evasion?
Eat your cereal.
Why is my sister Lily? Oh, because that's your mother's favorite thing. All right. Sets the kid named 10% off.
Why am I called anal strippers?
Don't you worry, your pretty little.
Why am I blowjobs and a Benjamin? Oh,
Blowjobs
right,
and
the
what?
next
Don't
blowjobs
you
and
worry
a
your pretty
Benjamin.
little. Don't worry.
Oh,
Don't worry your pretty little head about that. Nasty quick mix.
Oh,
Oh,
Nestle,
no.
delicious. All right, you are all caught off guard while you're muttering amongst yourselves about tax breaks by a gaggle of cowgirls charging in.
Alright, Stray.
All right. This
Stray
is
all.
intriguing.
It is it is a bimble of minor girls.
A bimble. Is that what they call? Is that what it's
Bimble.
called?
Well,
Bimble.
it is a collection of cowgirls, but the motion they're doing as they enter a room is definitely bimbling.
I do have a question. Do I recognize any of them from Triple M?
No.
Okay.
No. These appear to be locally sourced, minor to moderately
Locally
educated cowgirls.
sourced artisanal cowgirls.
Yeah,
That's what Hallie was.
No. The artisanal ones are the MMM ones. These are just locally sourced free range cowgirls.
Ah, okay.
Oh, there's a free
Welcome
range retouch. Okay, good
To the
know.
den today.
Hi! We have like the best business! And one of them then immediately like steps forward to present a bunch of papers. She trips, the papers go just everywhere, just scatter like a little cloud. Oops!
Oh
You see that most of you can see that
That
most of the
is
pages
fine.
are blank in the first place.
Makes
Just there to
Right.
make them look
What-
official and important.
I'll just
What
cock
are
your
you
head and
presenting
watch.
today?
We wanted to give massages.
Oh, yeah, this one.
Massages.
Intriguing.
Massages.
Are
They
they?
are only the greatest. They are massages. But we use our big milky boobs and our milk, which also provides a great deal of health benefits.
Such as?
I don't know what those benefits are, but I have been told that there are great health benefits, and she will have her jiggly milkies.
Alright.
What I do know is that the massages are very popular, and everyone is a lot happier when they are covered in milk and milky titties.
Right.
Can't argue with that.
How much are you looking
Unfortunately,
for?
we don't own a place to do that in, and we would like money to buy a house.
N-house, you say? How much is N-house?
Much amongst us. 1 million gold.
Cass is gonna lean down to Ralu and be like, "What if we just made a massage parlor in the casino, though?"
We should
is
just make a
bit
massage parlor in the casino.
out there. How about something more sensible?
Uh-huh. 500,000?
You're getting closer, at least.
Half a million?
We'll come back to that.
Okay.
How much are you selling the massages for, and what are you making off them?
Ooh. We have been charging 20 gold a massage, and we can do a bunch a day.
On average,
How long do they take?
How many would you say per day?
They all like mutter amongst each other, just gaggle of muttering bimbos.
They have to count all their fingers.
We've been doing them all together, but like only at Susie's house. So we have been 5 a day.
Which one of you is Susie?
Points to the pink-haired one.
How do you
Wait a minute.
How do you feel about casinos?
I have heard that the casino is a den of iniquity, and if you go there with lots of money, you will leave with no money.
Actually, in your case, it might become a den of liquidity.
Right.
Correct.
So as I understand it, it takes all 6 of you to do a massage.
It doesn't require it, but why would they want less than 6 cowgirls?
That is true.
Specify how often you can do the massages and bring in more gold for it.
Well, if we had like more than one table, then we could do more than one person at a time.
This is true.
But we don't, because we have Susie's table, and honestly, we're supposed to use that table for breakfast. It is the most important meal of the day.
Alright, what if we just gave you a studio in a place with a lot of foot traffic and people with lots of money, and you
We
just...
can do foot stuff for money, but I don't know. We really just want to give them massages.
That's not what.
That's just
not what
like
he
falls
meant.
over onto his wife laughing. Can't even finish
Anyway.
the thought.
We have a place for you that is available if you want it. It's in a casino where gamblers go to spend all their money, and they'd spend some of their money on you.
Ooh. Yeah, but do you got like beds and stuff? Because we kind of need a house because Susie's parents are getting really annoyed that we keep getting milk all over the breakfast table.
They won't be annoyed so much once you are no longer doing it in that breakfast table.
Yeah, but also we've been using her sofa and also my sofa that I dragged into her place.
The casino has rooms, right?
It sounds like little hotel rooms, but we probably have like staff housing nearby. I guess
Not that you own,
yeah,
but
not
you
that I
could certainly
own,
make
but
that an investment.
yeah, like I'm thinking we could like we could make sure that they have the money to like rent a place for themselves to sleep and that's nearby.
Yeah, I mean, you could just pay rent on a place forever and be like, yeah, we bought you this house. Okay, maybe that's a very disingenuous way to do it, but you know.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
not gonna
securing
ask
company
questions.
housing.
You know, I just Savin.
Yeah.
Sorry. Cass, you do know that your casino is like a little walk away from my place, right?
We're not stuffing them in a poorhouse.
Yeah, my thoughts I had. Your place is a soup kitchen.
That
It's a lovely soup kitchen and also a temple, but you know they aren't
Yeah, it's
priestesses or paws.
It's
Okay,
not a
maybe they're
place-
paws right now.
I'm
But...
so
It's not a place for them to stay
s-
permanently. It's a nice place though, and I appreciate the offer. But yeah, no, we can like Ralu, you have enough money to arrange a place for them, right? Because I'm kind of broke.
Correct.
The cowgirls look amongst themselves. Oh, I think we're doing really well.
You're doing so well, girls. I'm so proud of you.
Ah, thank you.
I
Let's
will
talk about
pay for you to have housing, and we'll set you up a place in the casino to ply your trade.
How many breakfast tables?
There can be one for each of you. There's definitely plenty of room.
Nice.
And
For the breakfast.
Ralu will also she was trying to keep it a secret, but she is in contact with a local carpenter for MMM.
I'm going to say a local cartel for titties.
No.
Like, oh, that's the same thing.
Yeah, that is the same thing.
Oh, a local carpenter that does stuff for MMM.
Ah, yes,
She's
the tables that have the hole in the bottom.
and milking stalls.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Unfortunately, Anai looks like you've been steamrolled when the gaggle of new
every
cows
time
dribbled in.
I've been trying
know,
to do things.
I know,
Every single fucking
you got
time, you just keep
completely
steamrolling me
blasted.
every single time. Oh well.
Absolutely sniped.
Whatever. They're running out of money anyway. I get the benefit at
That's
the
true.
end.
This is an auction house.
I am absolutely not running out of money.
Yeah. All right then. How much? How many halves of a million have you got for us then? We should come back around to the money thing again because we still do need that, even if you give us a place to stay in.
Yeah. Hang on. So, how much is luxury accommodations? I don't remember. I don't even see what book that's in. Savin, did you write that down, or is
It's not really in a book because like there's no
Yeah, like settling down and living in a place isn't really a D&D thing to do.
We've done luxury accommodations before, though. I just can't remember how much they were.
I mean, so a standard of living that is luxurious would normally be like a GP a day. So there's 6 of them times 30. So figure that out.
Oh, great! You know
Take
me,
30,
legendary on maths.
180.
Yeah. So yeah, that would keep them in a good standard of living.
I can easily pay for them to be in luxury accommodations for a year.
That is, they will mutter amongst themselves. How many halves a minute is? Wait. Oh, that. All right, 2,200 gold.
Correct.
And we will give massages on all of your breakfast tables for the whole year.
And at, like,
They're still on breakfast tables.
yeah. So Ralu will put in 2,200.
Dope. We accept. You don't know that they necessarily given you like a percentage of a business of any kind, but I guess I'll add them to the facilities.
Yeah, no, there's no talk of like percentage of profits there at all. And you know what? I'm just gonna let it happen.
It's just,
I got a steamroller. I'm not
really,
gonna put in like any help for that.
Nope. If you listen real carefully, you can hear the fly buzzing between each of their heads.
Yeah,
It goes between ears.
They're all bimbos. I'm just going to set up someone to manage the finances and take a percentage off. It's not that hard. They don't know. I don't even want them touching any of the money. I want the money to go directly into like a joint account.
It's a door charge.
That's being managed. Because otherwise, they're just gonna lose all of their money.
Yeah.
Okay, Henry Ford. You're not wrong.
Yeah, you're all wrong. You know, giving them coins made of wood to work the rubber trees.
No, they're gonna keep a majority of their money, but now I have to figure out how much hiring an accountant for them is.
All right, that I have good news for.
Do you now?
So
that's a specialist.
So this would be a seneschal would be 90 gold a month, but that would be enough to take care of the whole casino and all the operations within it.
I love how unofficial this section of the investment portfolio looks. It's like right underneath Marcel's magical menagerie. It says, "Boost sizes, yes!" Smiley face. Shares and stakes, 2160 a year for an unknown share. 2160 a year for what? Profits?
Do you have a seneschal already?
No, Cass does all that. Actually, Mive does all that work right now.
Mive does all that, yeah.
She's actually like a trained seneschal herself.
Oh, well then she'll just have Mive take a fair percentage from them, and then make sure that they don't spend all their money on glitter.
All right,
so
clearly we just have Mive sit down and talk this through with them with how about to fucking 19? There you go.
Oh, we'll worry about that when... I think for Mussages, instead it will be like a skill test that I will roll to determine your profits.
That's fair.
And no one else is trained in statecraft to give her a crit. So, that's just not...
No, I mean, there's a fucking stupid that you would get advantage.
No, that's not how that works.
The taxman is not the person who is the one that you're trying to, determine profits and losses out of. Not the cowgirls themselves. They're just happy to get paid to make milk. They don't give a shit. Head empty, heart full. Milk also quite full.
Hold on, I haven't finished for this.
Alrighty.
Aura's just sitting there laughing at all this happening.
Yeah, Aura.
Oh, yeah, as soon as
she doesn't even need the money. She's just here to enjoy the game of Dragon's Den.
As soon as the cowgirls leave, Masika stops holding it in and bursts out laughing.
What did I just witness?
Something amazing.
Adorable.
That was precious.
They were trying so hard.
They were. It was valiant.
Did they pick up all the papers? I want to pick up a couple of them.
They definitely did not manage to get all of the papers.
I want to see how many of them are just scrawlings of boobs.
No, none of the papers have anything on them at all. There was literally just a hurriedly grabbed, like, fresh, shiny new reef of papers just to make it look like they had papers.
Fantastic.
They are all blank.
I love them all.
They're precious.
I would also question where the fuck they got this much paper to carry around with.
They took it from their parents.
Expensive.
Yeah, it definitely came from Susie's house.
Oh dear.
Her dad's gonna be so pissed.
Yeah, like, one sheet of paper is fucking expensive.
Okay, well.
Listen, Amxal, you can be as mad as you want, but we expect they're cowgirls, and it's me.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's see here. Gotta make sure I got them all lined up. In march another group, but this group does not bimble. They march as a procession. A proud procession of kobolds.
Oh,
Oh
no.
What? Oh dear.
3 kobolds in a trench coat.
Greetings, noble and esteemed dragons. My name is Stephen, and I have the business of a lifetime for you. You see, I and my compatriots happen to be the finest plumbers in all of Lastorado. We have a unique business, and it boils down to very simply fixing everyone's pipes. Expertise.
Mm-hmm.
Prime control of a situation. Maybe extending the cost just a little bit by working slower than we should otherwise, but we get paid by the hour, baby. But we do a good job, so at the end of it, they can't even be that annoyed that we cost them all that much. Let me tell you, I, Stephen, am the king of pipe.
I bet you are, Stephen.
But are any of you beauties gonna be my queen?
Guess just
I have a
looks at
queen
Ara.
already.
Ma'am, I wouldn't even dare to make eye contact. I wouldn't dare to look. Maybe at foot level. I am afraid to look in your auspicious direction, lady. Ara just looks deeply amused as his gaze went from face to chest and down and then up to chest again and then down, and even then he was like, no, I can't do that. I can't keep a straight face and look at that one.
All right, then, Stephen, let's get down to the nitty-gritty then. How long have you been in operations?
Ooh. We have been in operations our entire lives, training for this moment. By which I mean, for the most part, we spent years burrowing and eating bugs. But whilst burrowing, we happened to bump into a lot of pipes, and we accidentally broke some of them. And we were told we had to fix them, or get skinned. And, don't know if you've heard this, people need skin to live. Or scale, give or
I've heard
take.
that.
Yes. Absolutely. And so we learned how to do pipes, and it turns out that I am pretty good at pipes. And although my companions here, for the most part, are only good at the eating bugs part, I've been training them too. They've been doing okay, frankly. We've been working in the business of actually fixing things on purpose that we didn't break in the first place for 2 whole years. And I want to upscale, baby. I want kobolds all over Lastorado, working their menial jobs for that short cash, and only a few of us raking the big bucks.
All right, 2 years. What is your profit year 1 then?
Our profit year 1 was actually non-existent because we had to pay bail. But year 2, let me tell ya, we made profit that equated to about 5 gold each per day for the entire year. Of course, we could only work in one ward, and it was one of the easier ones. Now, if I could get more kobolds out there in even more wards, well, it starts getting a little bit more challenging, because then suddenly I need to have someone to work like a table, like a reception. I need more people to handle logistics, because I can fix a lot of pipe myself. I don't want to be doing that until I'm gray in the scale. My boys here barely did that before. You get what I mean. I want to make sure that I'm not doing everything by my damn self. I want to train everyone, set them off, do a little organizing their jobs on the side because I'm the only one who can rub a couple of cells together. And he holds up his thumb and finger and does a little rub motion. I'm basically the only one who knows how to charge for the work that we do. But
I see.
did you know how expensive it is to get your shitters unshitted here in Las Dorado?
It is not something I have especially looked into.
The answer is not a lot, and it should be a lot. Instead, people are just letting their pipes get crap and then hoping a wizard will fix it once it gets too smelly.
That is true. I've lived here long enough to have that happen.
Exactly. You know how much that goes to taxpayer money, young madam, sir? Servendom?
Sir, and no, I don't.
You have it. Look. It costs taxpayers quite a lot to pay a wizard to go around and do menial mending jobs. And if it happens to be for a burst sewage pipe, well, instead they usually find the family directly who let the pipe go bad. But it probably wasn't even them. That's just where the pipe finally gave up the ghost.
Are you trying to form a plumber's guild, then?
That's you damn right. I mean, I don't even want to go with just plumbing. We'll start with the small dreams. Plumbing first, but I want to be able to send people to do your bushes, do your dishes, get rid of deadfall and trees, and clean up after storms, and sweep the sand off the porches. I want to make sure that there's custodian kobolds. Kobold-stodians all over Dorado.
Right,
a custodian guild even is the big dream.
Yeah.
Let's talk investment then.
Yeah,
How
let's
much
talk
are you
investment.
looking for, and what are you preparing to offer in return for it?
Tell you what, you're a straight shooter. I'd like to offer you, say, 10% of the business. And although the profits are going to be slim on the start fall, and assuming we can get out to all the wards, that 10% starts to look like a real peachy penny. Right now, I'm only pulling in 5 gold ahead of Guy. That's... 1 second. My maths isn't actually that good off the top of my head. I imagine yours is. You look like an intelligent lady. I would have to get out the abacus, which I have not brought with me, because Munchkin over here... No, Munchkin. Scrumpkin over here sat on it, I think. Oh, no, I lost like 4... He just
I can tell you currently with the figures you've given me, with 6 of you doing work for 5 GP a day, it's an 1,800 gross profit for the year before any expenses, trainings, the like.
Yeah, that sounds about correct. And of course, getting 10% of that, it's not bad for easy gold. All you gotta do is give us a home and a chance. Well, no, you gotta give us an initial terminal business input of some kind so that I can get together like 600 kobolds. But you get the idea. I got big dreams, ma'am. And I would like big money to make those big 10%. Dreams. Pardon, sorry?
You've yet to list a number for that 10%.
4,000 gold. 4,000 gold. I bet with that much money, half a year, I can get you 600 kobolds, and I can get them doing the easy rudimentary stuff. By the end of the year, I can weed out which ones are thick as shit, and which ones can fix a shit. We fire the ones who suck, or we find them jobs, I don't know, picking up trash, which is also an important job, but that admittedly does have some competition, but frankly, I'm pretty sure bozos will do it for less.
I see.
And as you can see, we got kind of a grower on our hands here.
Have you managed any contracts with the city yet for such things, or is it only for the one ward?
It's only been private contracts inside the ward. We happen to make friends with a particularly nice lady, salamander type. They even had a new casino open up, so she paid us to go and make sure all their pipes weren't exploded and shit. Did you know that 3 of their pipes were exploded and shit? It's like someone set off a fireball down there.
Ralu will blink and just look over at Cass.
Oh, you guys! I thought I recognized the name Steven the Plumber.
it. Also, I hope you pay up soon. I would hate to have to send my boys in. Not that I think they would succeed. You're all accompanied by very massive friends and a beautiful dragon lake. But
the check is already in the mail, and yeah, Anai, if you're interested, let me tell you, these guys do good work. Can recommend.
Did you actually fireball the pipes?
Well, we fireballed in the vicinity of the pipes. They're sort of collateral. There's a monster living in there.
I see. Look, poor Scrumpkin over here nearly got hit by incinerated shit.
Ooh, sorry.
Lot of splintered pipes. But you know what? He's still alive, and he hasn't got a disease, and it didn't cost much money at all. We're good business. You just gotta give us a chance.
Honestly, I think it's just an upgrade for the city as a whole. I'm in.
Yeah,
let's see. All right then. So, of your 600 that you're getting, of which how are you getting them?
Basically, a lot of kobolds like us, we're either slum living or we're hiding out in desert tribal villages. If I manage to go through the entirety of Dorado, then I'm just gonna reach out into the sands, which admittedly is where it starts costing more money. But that's when you show them great big portraits of big titty dragon girls, and they'll just come charging into the city ready to work.
Right then. Of that 600 that you will possibly manage to get, how many will actually be viable workers?
Okay. If you want me to be particularly mean about it, only a sixth of them will have what it takes to do complicated custodial work. But that does still mean that your city of millions will have at least 500 more trash picker-uppers who will work for minimum wage.
It's not a bad deal at all.
That's what I'm saying.
All right then. All right, so accurate, he's asking 4,000 for 10%?
Yep, 4,000 for 10%.
Yeah.
All right then.
I'm down for 800.
Why don't we just do
I guess
1,000 each between 4, and that way it's easy math for taxes.
Because I can't do 1,000 necessarily.
I can boost you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Well, if we sell off a little bit some of this diamond dust we've got.
You guys are selling diamonds to buy shit workers? Man, I had you all pegged wrong. I thought you'd be like, wow, these guys, they get clawed deep in feces. Must be that we can't trust them. But you all see the real things in this world.
I mean, if this works out, this will be great for the community.
I can see the use of it, and provided we are able to actually get contracts with the city, then it can be upscaled.
Certainly, if you can get those contracts. Unfortunately, as you might guess from my earlier analogy for shit-wristed kobolds being what we is, it's very hard for us to talk to government officials and get permission to do anything. That's why we kind of got to go private and wait for people's pipes to explode instead of routine maintenance. Routine! That's what the word exists for, is making sure people's shitters don't explode.
I bet you could go around and get people to sign up for some sort of preventative maintenance regime. You know, a yearly, bi-yearly checkup.
Yeah, but
again, shit-wristed kobolds.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you guys couldn't, but someone working with you.
Someone who happens to have, I don't know, bright shiny eyes and a giant rack, or adorable ears, or like, is a gigantic dragon. Actually, if I remember. Oh, don't you own a business, ma'am? RR will smile. Of course I do, but, you know, I could always own more business, but I'm just here to watch the show, really. My friends are doing most of the investing, unless there's something that they can't afford and I can, and it sounds really good. Oh, I'm gonna snipe it up so good. Well, thank you, your legendariness.
Well, I mean, this seems pretty much right up your alley, Ara. You're helping the whole city and their kobolds.
Of course it's right up my alley, but it's, you know, small money
to
me. I don't want to put you guys down, but like, these guys are small beans. No offense taken, ma'am.
It just slide her eyes open to Cass and whisper, I mean, we could just talk to Hagen about smoothing things over with city officials.
just ask God.
Yeah, we could. They're the
Dear God, I would like to get jobs for the kobold.
Hey,
I don't think that's in Hagen's. I don't think that's in Hagen's wheelhouse.
They're the ones sending us to stop the end of the world. The least they can
do is talk to government and get contracts for kobolds to clean shitters. It's simple math, mathematics.
I don't think that's gonna work. Maybe Mive could, as Sunblessed and all that, but I don't know. If someone's gonna talk to the city government, it'd probably be like Ara or Anai.
Anai.
Cass.
What?
Cass.
What?
What?
We literally have a direct line to the boss. One that runs Dorado.
He runs the
Since
underworld,
fucking when
not
do
the
we
whole
have a
city.
direct line to the boss? We've never talked to him.
You've never talked directly to the boss.
No, she's talking about
Probably.
Mama. Yeah, that's the underworld. No, the person that we'd want to talk to the government about is the literal merchant princess.
Yeah, no, and I would absolutely be someone who can just immediately leverage her name and score a public works contract. With ease.
Yeah, it'll make the city smell nicer.
Yeah, Scrunkin over here sees an advocacy. Starts getting real hungry,
All right, so who is wanting in on this?
Ralu will.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Loam also.
Said, yeah.
Anai, you could make him a better offer for a smaller share and try and score even more of it yourself. Play that real Dragon's Den where you're like, oh, all of my friends are in at 10%. I bet I could go all in 4K at 8%. And
I don't want to put
a nice
shitters though.
The monopoly player that buys up all the railroads and the municipalities and just slowly bleeds everyone else on the table dry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If you don't want to, I have no problems because I run the soup kitchen in the Ash Ward, which, if I remember correctly, feeds a lot of kobolds.
That's where our son. I mean, okay, look, those soup kitchens don't feed a lot of kobolds. They feed a lot of people who are a lot taller than us. Your standard form bipeds. We make do on the trash. You're looking at the trash man.
The trash man. I take the trash and I throw it all over the ring.
Well, would you like then a kobold height survey opening then?
Look, I'm thinking bigger than that, Miss Bear. I want us all to have real jobs and buy real food with a real economy. Not just make sure we get handouts from someone who's willing to stoop down to kobold height.
No, I mean,
appreciate the offer. I appreciate the thought of getting another, more soup kitchen space for the not squishier bipeds.
I think she just means stopping the hole for now until you guys get on your feet.
That'll be harder for us to get employees if they're suddenly being fed for nothing. They'll just get very lazy. It's quite easy to make us content. You gotta get us used to working for a living. Me, I am a very rare industrious sort. These guys, and he will indicate all of his idiots, will mostly nod and smile at anything I suggest, at which point at least 3 of them do that. 2 of them will roll their eyes. They work hard, but they work hard because they get a reward for it.
Very well.
He gives you a look like, don't you go trying to poach my boys either. This is my business idea.
What? Is the transfer rate for platinum to GP 10? Okay, cool. I'm gonna just liquefy my PP now.
Oh no!
But Cass loves your PP.
Okay.
Congratulations, get a whole.
How dumb are the rest of the kobolds? Like, really? Like, when you say, like, at least 3 of them are, like, just nodding along with him? I want to get a sense for it. Like, he's basically, this is the only brain in the business, basically.
He appears to be the only brain of this group. It's like, I mean, like, you've seen intelligent kobolds. Like, they're not a myth here, but most of them definitely are more in the servile bow and scrape kind of position. It is very rare to find one that you would define as a go-getter, like Steven. Like, these are the guys, yeah, some of them might actually be retarded, but that's fine. They're clearly hard workers, and 2 of them are just quiet because they know they can't fast talk like Steven can.
Yeah, and he did say that if they were too lazy, he'd just kick them out and find a new one.
Yep.
Right. Steven,
So,
I can tell you are passionate and driven for this.
Thank you. I can tell you are beautiful and intelligent.
Unfortunately, while I think I could invest in you, the sheer number of kobolds that you would employ does put a hamper in it. Not necessarily the kobolds themselves, but in general sense, you yourself have mentioned that some of them, a good portion, would simply nod along and work hard.
That's
But
correct,
that's
of course.
not necessarily the best thing in a business.
It isn't, but at the same time, I'm thinking of a pretty big picture here, Miss Fox. You see, I'm gonna go through the initial 600 workers, and I'm gonna find out which ones can do their job properly. And even the ones who honestly aren't a particularly good fit for something as important as maintenance can still be employed to do simple bitch-tier trashy jobs. They've been doing that for a long time, but there isn't much protection about it or consideration. Look, I'm not gonna give you a sob story, but most of us don't live particularly long, and it's not because we're suddenly not a long-lived species. It may be an iota, a teensy-weensy McDroplet, but we do have some dragon in us, and we live for a long, long time if we don't get squashed. And, okay, squashed is definitely a preferable way to go, depending on cause of squashing. Cave falling's not great. Big dragon accidentally steps on you. You know what? That's fair enough. At least it was a dragon. You get what I mean.
I would like to point out we have met a kobold that was at least 900 years old.
900? Fucking bugging me sideways. Okay, even I didn't know we could go that long. None of us have successfully lived 900. I would like to meet this geezer and see how he's doing.
He was a guardian of a last dragon egg of the line his family served.
That's fucking brilliant. What an absolute champ. I'd like to shake his hand. Back to the point. I'm saying that without us, a lot of those 600 kobolds would otherwise die. I'm not saying that in order to try and pull your heartstrings. It's just kind of something that happens when we're barely above the vermin spectrum as far as people are considering. And if they go out and do work for trash, and that happens to step on the toes of a hobo, then, well, friend kobold isn't going to make it, is he? But if I'm employing all of them and they belong to a business, to a gosh dang union of workers, suddenly all of these kobolds can work, make a living, and not have to be afraid of being stabbed because there's more than one person standing up for them. I'm telling you, I may only find 100 good workers, but I will find 600 living workers who will do their jobs, as long as they can live.
All right, then. So if we're splitting it, it'd be 2.5 a person. It'd be 5.5. No, because that would be 7.5
Just left
for
out
them.
4,000 right off the bat.
Yeah, Anai just swoops in and buys it all up. I will
that was
have
Karin.
every minute.
Or Karin.
That was Karin. Are you actually going to snipe?
Oh my god. It turns out Hedrah's a player that does that in Monopoly.
That doesn't surprise me.
I have played Monopoly.
You have the money. You could buy all
Yeah,
the
is that a serious offer from Karin? Is she actually doing that?
Yeah, with 4,000 right off the bat.
What? Okay, I guess I'll keep my money then.
Pleasure doing business with you, Miss Bear. I can see that this is going to be the beginnings of a beautiful friendship. And just you wait. Years from now, Las Dorado's going to look like just absolute a real city of gold. And not gold because of all the people urinating in the alleyways. I mean because you'll actually be able to see the floors.
It would be great if in a few years they start like a public restroom thing too.
I love Steven.
Look, Steven's an intelligent fella.
Listen,
and he knows the hustle.
Karin and Steven are just made our city eventually less stinky.
Yes. We do it for you, but also we mostly do it for ourselves. It just so happens that doing it for us is for doing it for you. Hey, Miss Bay, you got a surname that I can put to our union? Not like matrimony. I mean, like, as in something I could put on, because like a nice union, like Steven and something.
I don't actually have anything. The closest thing would be bare necessities, the sufficient I run, but my name is Karin.
Ah, well, a bear pun's a pretty good move, except for the fact that none of us is bears.
Yeah, but what if you used Karin as your mascot?
You could also
what, like put a little bear on the logo? I mean, they'll always be asking why, but we can just say it's because of a nice bear, and who gives a fuck?
You could always just call it, like, S&K Associates.
Oh, fuck, that does sound real official. How about it, Miss Karin? S&K Associates.
That's real good.
That sounds excellent.
Gorgeous. Oh, I'm gonna get business cards put up. Non-edible business cards. He looks at Scrumpkin.
Business cards.
The kobold will twiddle his fingers.
Listen, he was hungry, alright?
Look. Just you wait, Scrumpkin. We're gonna get you the most delicious night crawlers you've ever seen. He makes little crunchy noises between his teeth. Alright. Well, it's been a pleasure. An absolute pleasure doing business with you. And yeah, they will head out. Let's see here.
Cass is gonna post up for a high five from Karin.
He just taps him. I just also got I got so much fucking goddamn with the Donnie 2 scoops from this. Like,
yeah, that was powerful Donnie energy.
Except, unfortunately, if you tried to get 2 scoops from Steven, it would be 2 scoops of shit.
No.
Oh, no.
Fuck, that was probably not good for my throat.
Yeah, good. Get something to drink.
I've been drinking the whole time. Alright, shares and stakes, 4k 10%. Karin, 4k. Year 1 income. Year 1 cost. Year 1 profit.
And if we can tie this thing into actual, like public service domain, public service work.
Yeah, it will get its own tax break, but they would have to have a maintained holdings contract for like a few years, so you can't apply for a tax break just because the business suddenly exists and takes on government work. You would have to do it for 5 years first.
Well, hold on. You clearly haven't been to California. You can just pop one of those fuckers up.
Oh,
Say
okay.
what? Do what?
I'm just teasing you.
Setting up, the moment you take on a government contract, you just get a tax break if you're in California.
Pretty sure that's the way it is everywhere.
No, I was saying you like as soon as the
work.
government puts out a contract opportunity, you just make a company whole cloth out of nowhere and just grab it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about tech boys.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the best things about what you're doing is you basically put all of your money into put 4,000 gold into a utility, and utilities are great because they generate their own revenue.
Yep. But yes, once S&K Associates exists and has a long-standing being like 5+ years, government contract, they'll be able to apply for a tax break. But they can't get a contract that doesn't exist. The whole problem for these guys is that they didn't, no government was putting out that contract doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, that's why I was leery about doing anything with it.
He was the first one to think about,
Probably wasn't the
government.
first one,
Well,
but he's the first one who had a cheap enough workforce.
yeah, and so eventually, this is probably going to work out really well. It's a really good idea. Who did give you this idea, or was this one of yours?
I sort of stole the idea from Gardy. Originally, he had a bundle of kobolds with a bunch of half-assed ideas that boiled down almost entirely to them getting paid to eat food. But when I read that, I was like, then again, kobolds utilizing their half-assed desire to just do things, like a particularly motivated kobold could probably make a lot of money, and then the gears spun and it turned into Steven as you then there and saw it. Like up until maybe 20 seconds before he spoke, they were going to say something real fucking stupid.
Well, I guess good job, Gardy. That was a great idea.
Yep. That's why I named that guy Scrumpkin entirely in Gardy's honor.
That's fair. Gardy says, I like this better, yeah.
Okay. Next up. This one is a nice one. What appears to be a large statue clonks their way into the building.
What did you say?
Large
Statue.
statue.
Yeah, it's the gargoyle girl.
The whole sentence.
What appears to be a large statue walks into the room.
Oh, a large statue. I thought you said a lunch statue. It's like,
I mean, it's lunch in one way or another, I suppose. This appears to be a statuesque figure of androgynous nature. Clearly, like, counter-humanoid monsterish features, so it's kind of hard to determine exactly what their original depiction might have been. Looks like something a cross between, like, a dragonid, but there's like a lot of like goat inspiration, maybe just a demon of some kind. Regardless, this statue walks up and they are dressed in they are wearing a magnificent smoking jacket. It's like the only thing they're wearing, because obviously you don't really have to worry about shoes and stuff. They walk in and they bow. There is a soft grating noise, and then they will stand up straight again. Greetings. I am Ezekiel. I'm a sculptor. I would like the money required to open a storefront to sell my sculptures. I get glass from the desert storms themselves to make these sculptures.
Fulgurite?
Yes. I have a very patented method for producing these statues. And then he will walk out of the room and walks back in again, carrying something beneath a cloth in his arms. He places the statue down and then dramatically pulls away the cloth, and you can see that it looks like some kind of great big desert hunting hawk cast in sand that's covered in these like a webbing of black cracks, like lots of fulgurite, as you see, like almost just a dirt brown obsidian. But it's very visceral and evocative in nature. I make sculptures like this. I go out into the desert and I either chase after or wait for storms. I have people who let me know in other places just as the weather changes. There's usually a few months in the year in particular where I can collect quite a lot of storm sand, a desert fulgurite. And I can either sculpt it or reblow it. And he reaches into a pocket and pulls out, although it has been artfully and dramatically and wonderfully carved, it's clearly a bong.
Yeah.
So you produce statues and glassware.
That's correct. Thing is, I happened to pay a friend to run a stall for me.
Just a question for a laywoman. Why Fulgurite specifically?
Because nobody else does it, and that is art. Something dramatic that can be created in an unnatural or natural way that nobody else is doing to create works of art of visceral, lifelike quality is unique. And something that should be its own business, a nice, small, comfortable arts business.
I assume
I
you. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, I would like to transition from paying a friend to run a bizarre stall, moving small time sculptures of mine to having my own storefront. And I've been looking into ways to acquire more Fulgurite without particularly being a storm chaser, you see. I want to be able to hire mages or get interns from local colleges to essentially blast man-crafted storms so that I can, as opposed to only a few months out of the year, have a year-round source of, well, material.
Ah,
Uh,
good. That was
Out,
going to be one of my questions for you.
out of character, would I know the Fulgurite is Wayland's special class?
I mean, it's that's not. It's not hidden knowledge. It's certainly an inferred knowledge that it's definitely popular with Whalenites. It probably makes up a lot of his customer base.
Well, that's what she was going to
Well,
ask.
let's
If a large part of his customer base, if he catered to Wayland.
Not specifically, but I do know that Whalenites most commonly are the ones to purchase it. Fulgurite's very popular. I admittedly started very small before I got a lot of practice statue crafting myself. From statue crafting myself. Long story, don't ask. I began with Whalenite talismans. I don't have. Oh no, I do have one on me. And he'll open the other side of his smoking jacket, and you can see in the inside is a leather pouch. He will open the leather pouch and reveal a little lightning bolt symbol made of fulgurite.
All right then. So, provided you get the investment and are able to get interns and mages from the college to produce your fulgurite, would you be able to maintain a shop year round?
Yes, I want to be able to pay students to produce lightning and storms for me so that I have extra materials. Of course, that also means that when I go out to get traditional storm blast during the more profitable season for it, I can even charge a premium on that because that is natural storm blast. Uh,
It also works as a better focus for um, clerics of Wayland and for enchanting. Sorry, my voice is full of phlegm, and I don't know why.
it's fine, so is mine.
It's
Just keep
yeah.
swallowing
You've
it down.
had
It's
your
Garden,
friend
well
shut
manage
up.
specific.
a stall.
Well, hang
How
on, let
much?
me finish. Uh, do you have any custom with the Mages Guild Fulgurite wands for like lightning bolt are fairly popular.
I don't. I'm an artist, not really a weaponsmith. I don't necessarily want to put my name to weapons. As you might expect, animate living statues are kind of renowned for their association with weapons, and I wanted to have as little to do with that as possible.
Understandable. You've mentioned you've had a friend run a bazaar front for you, I
Yes.
presume. How long has that been going on?
Oh, goodness. She's been selling stuff for me for the past 7 years now, I think. I
All
started
right.
crafting a decade ago, and yeah, it was only until they said, I'm pretty sure I can sell this for you, that they started selling them for me.
All right. And if you had to estimate profits from it on a yearly basis, say the last 3 years, then.
The last 3 years. I don't know if you're aware, but at the turning of the blood moon, there was a half-year-long storm, essentially. At the very least, a storm I was able to chase for a half of a year, picking up fulgurite, or even at one point I managed to get ahead of the storm and position sand so that when the fulgurite was formed, I had natural crafts like the bird here. Pieces like this go for anywhere between 300 to 800 gold. A lot of the stall pieces are admittedly a lot smaller. They sell for anywhere between 50 and 110. Considering I gave half those profits to my friend for selling them in the first place because I would not be able to do so. Not really a people person. I still walked away pretty well. Yeah, with a split of the profits, I've still had enough money to travel and live in a place, which is a lot more than can be said for a lot of people in Los Dorado.
All right. How much are you looking for investment-wise? And
I'm
how much
looking
are you...
for 8,000 gold. And I'm willing to give up half the business for it, at first, until I've paid back that initial investment, at which point I would go down to a much more reasonable 10%. But I am willing to make sure that this business isn't simply just my business, but it begins as a partnership. I want to make sure that that 8,000 is earned and paid back.
And the 8,000 is to purchase a storefront and supply it.
That's correct. It would also help me get my hands on, because regardless of them being students or interns, they're wizards and will probably charge for their work.
All right, then.
As well, I also want to source sand from all sorts of places over the desert. Not all of it is made equal, as you might imagine. There's already the ash sands close to a volcano, admittedly quite a ways away. You'd think that would be fantastic for it, and for just glass it is, but for statues, not so much.
Okay. So I figure like this would be like in Anai's wheelhouse. Is 8,000 a reasonable amount he's asking for there?
He's probably rounding pretty clean. It could be 500 give or take, like above or below. Kind of depends on how good a season is for him.
All right.
Like, art is a difficult market to judge in the first place because art is a buyer's market, it's not the seller's. If he puts it up for 800 and no one fucking buys it, then that's obviously not what that piece is worth. If he puts it up for 50 and it sells straight away, then clearly it should have been higher. But by the time that's happened, it's too late. Him saying 8k is almost certainly because he doesn't want to tell you anywhere between like 6 and 12.
Yeah. All right, then. How about a counter offer?
Go
I will
ahead.
give you 2,000, and I have a storefront you can readily supply with, as well as connections within the Mage College itself.
If
But
those if those connections can, well, here's the thing. I don't want that money to just be shortchanged off of those students just because they're connections. I'm not so deeply in need of money that I'm willing to utilize a connection to stiff these students. With all due respect, if your connection gets them cheaper, I'm not interested. If your connection just gets them reliably, then yeah, you can consider me in.
I can get them reliably.
Okay.
Then is it a deal? 2,000, a storefront, and reliable students for producing fulgurites.
Is this storefront one that I would own, or is it being rented from you?
It would be in my name, but there would be no rent on it for the time being, and we can renegotiate that after the 2,000 is paid back.
I can't imagine 2,000 will be much to pay back, but I'm happy to do that, if you're certain.
I am.
Very well then, miss. You have me at an impasse. I don't know your name.
I am Anai Sabri.
Ah. Yes, I think I've had a... Yeah, I've traveled with a Sabri caravan before. And it makes sense that you're performing investments. Didn't know your family was into the arts, but glad that they are. That you are.
Very well. I look forward to a fruitful business together.
It would be real. This is out of character, but it'd be real cool if he could make what's it called, fulgurite stained glass for Waylenites.
I mean, he
Probably
does.
could.
That's what he has.
He's
ground floor stuff.
he started off very early making talismans.
Yeah, well, he's a sculptor. I'm talking about, like,
Why, yes,
Yeah,
he is a
He showed off
sculptor.
like he showed off like the
a sculptor.
fulgurite bong that was made of glass.
Yeah,
like,
he did.
ground
He did
fulgurite.
hold up a fulgurite bong. He can
Yeah, but
definitely shape a window. Yeah.
Well, no, it's a different discipline because it's art sculptors
Yeah, he
and
would need
people that
multiple
makes
colors of sand as opposed to the usual sources for it. Because a stained glass, like if he's making it out of fulgurite, then that means the sand already has to be the correct color post fulging.
and people that learned how to make like the stained glass windows you see had to take like 10 to 20 years to make it, and he didn't say that he had already done that, but he's a gargoyle, so he could probably take some time off, and then you could, if Anai and him could get a commission from the Waylenites to do up their cathedral with fulgurite stained glass, like that's how like princes of Venice made a bunch of money. Just get it from the church.
Church cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a valid idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just had a pretty good deal there.
Oh yeah, totally. Shares and stakes, 2k and a storefront for 50%. Negotiate. After initial investment payback. Year one income. Year one cost. Year one profit. God. Save changes. There you have it. Another section added to strongholds and investments.
Remember, this is your fault.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely my fault.
It turns out it was really convenient for us to be doing this right after a bunch of us just got our new strongholds, or,
Yeah, you got your new strongholds and you're still like, I just got everything I needed. What do I do with this money in my pocket? I could just spend it on making more money. Like everyone does when they make a windfall. Wait a second.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Very true. Okay, my voice is knackered. There are probably going to be at least a couple more people who are interested, but I think I'm going to devote those to text RP.
Okay. Because I know there's one I'm really interested in, like going through the text RP, like the attribute one you mentioned before. I remember that.
Yes, that one is being able to trade in or loan like bodily attributes to each other, and either essentially cosmetic surgery.
Yeah, I'm very interested in seeing that one and like possibly investing. I've got like 3,000 left in a storefront I could put into.
Excellent.
And then maybe eventually we'll be able to, I don't know, adventure again?
Nah.
Yeah.
This is way more fun.
Instead of adventuring, my rich new investors, how about we go to a gala?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh right, I thought you were about to call the session.
Yeah, I thought you were too.
I did think you were about to call the session.
I probably will soon, but I wanted to make sure we knew where our wheels were spinning for the next one.
Okay.
Or we could just do the gala.
Let's see here. I am going to temporarily turn off dynamic lighting so you can all see the locale. Lots of noble folk. And you're, of course, able to bring people who are interested in seeing a bunch of museum pieces and artworks.
Where's Master Family? How dare you?
I just haven't pulled in all of the token. It's a lot of token.
Is
So you're saying I should take Ara to a date at the gallery? Gotcha.
Ara has already had plenty of fun with you guys, but she's got her own business to run on a regular. Let me grab.
Syrian, I know.
No, they have an actual job that they were paid to do. They're
Keep
like,
distracting.
You can't keep taking us out for parties.
Yeah, I would like them
I
to
don't
actually
believe
figure out
you.
that mask and like get that done.
Eh.
They will say thanks, but no thanks.
Like one party was good, but like
They're
we
like
did
still
hire them to pay a
hungover.
job.
They're like, yeah, we still have to do our job, and we have to make sure we're done before it's time to leave for archaeology.
Straight.
Hmm?
Don't worry. Karin will bear up, and she will, you know, like, have a, what's the word again? She will help you clear off those plates of canapes, which is actual, you know, trays, but they're plates for us.
Yes, of course. You can consume all the delicious canapes. Let me grab Kizzy and Azzy.
yeah, family.
Boop.
Just perched on top of your head, holding you by your ears.
Yeah.
No, if she's on your shoulders, like peeking over you, she can't see all the art past her mum's ears.
True.
Impossible.
I will say this. What the fuck is this Elon Musk scheming fucking evil vizier looking motherfucker?
What do you mean? He's just a simple host of this beautiful gala.
Oh, he's
Okay,
the host.
he's the host. That looks like, yes, the scheming vizier. I got the peaceful fucking shake there.
He looks more like if the Phantom Mask grew up, but you didn't do anything. My work here is done. That guy, but
Tuxedo
grown way
mask.
up. Yeah, he's Tuxedo Mask, but way older now.
That
ditched the
is
mask, he's
definitely
just
a
called
villain from a
Tuxedo.
Fire Emblem map, but
He is absolutely a Fire Emblem villain. However, in this case, no, he's the patron who likes to collect a particularly large museum, and I actually typed in the word fop, and he turned up. I was meant to type in noble, but my brain was like autocorrected to fop, and he was there. He was noble fop. He was both. I was like, all right, welcome to the table.
Done. Done.
Done. You're going to be titled both of the things that you need to be. He thinks that this is a genuine pleasure, and you are invited to bring dates.
oh, I got my dates. Beauty on each arm. Let's go.
Absolutely.
My date and my daughter.
Yay! And Loam gets a can.
Yay.
Mr. Big.
Yep. Good old Ken.
He's a good boy.
He's a good dude. Kenneth Kabir. He's very careful. He made sure to have all of his like limb horns trimmed so he doesn't accidentally elbow a sculpture to pieces.
I
He's
just
got
call that
little-
having a daughter.
He's got pool noodles on the end of his horns like a goat.
No. Bad goat, no headbutt.
We got to make sure the 6-year-old stays within arm's reach.
True. Or what you do is you immediately head over to the this table with little smokies.
Yeah. So there are plenty of delicious canapes and snacks. God damn it, stupid VC2 picture.
I know, this is why I said it's a looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
He also made the same face when shaking Obama's hand, so I think that's just how he interacts with with leaders of the world. That's his face.
That's his leader face. Oh.
Yeah.
Talking to people in power face. Well,
He should be glad he's rich. There was no way he was getting laid otherwise.
Yeah, scheming vizier, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Just threw diamonds at women until they slept with him.
Basically, yeah. And then cheated on him. Crazy. Anyway. You are able to enter a beautiful home. There are plenty of, homes and hallways that consist of this man's grounds. a particularly old family that he comes from. His aunt, I believe, happens to own like an entire eastern wing of this place, but he's on good measure with his family, even if his aunt is 30 years older and looks like 40 years younger. She currently isn't here, but she's already gotten to see all of the museum and everything, and shows you around. And there are articles of interest from all over the deserts. Well, yeah, it would just be deserts. Since it's a themed like a museum center, it's unlikely he would be spreading out the theme and being like, yes, all of these beautiful Egyptian artifacts, but also this club from the jungles. No. It's all thematically apt, and you're walking around what appears to be a lot of old Valerician culture in particular. Is there anything anyone is going to like look for in like this place is a absolute motherlode of historical knowledge.
I would like to look at more Valerisian shit.
Sure. Why don't you make an investigate or a history, and then you can ask me questions depending on the result. And Valerisian is just the era of tieflings when Valorous was still at the height of his power.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So is it mostly like Valerisian stuff, or is it like also other Dark Pantheon stuff around too, or?
If that Dark Pantheon stuff happens to coincide with like deserts folklore and history, then yes. You can make a separate test and try and determine exactly that.
Yeah, I'll try and see if there's anything from the Cadus and all this.
Sure, and Hedrah.
No, I was trying to think of the timeline with the whole Valerie starting getting his juice back, but that was pre-fall.
Yeah.
It was post-fall.
No, the end of the Valerisian era doesn't one-to-one coincide with the weakening of his power to stab an ancient evil. It probably helped contribute, but it wasn't the sole thing. The history has not been changed that drastically.
Okay. Just checking. Yeah, I'm just checking.
Yeah. Valerisian culture isn't just like still magically now all in existence and welcome to the rice paddies. No. It's still considered extant history. Maybe it took like 50 or 60 more years to die out than it would have otherwise, but and yeah, Stace is totally there to help you with these investigations. A 26 Savin, ask me 3 questions about Valerisian history.
Oh
culture.
Boy. Is there any other evidence or hint of time magic being used by this culture? Anything else that plays off the themes of the item we brought back?
Yes. Playing off the themes, certainly there is a particularly large, like, not set into a wall, but embossed, sticking out of the wall, so they carved around a picture instead. It looks like a depiction of a demonic individual lifting their hands up, like with the typical like historical shorthand for a halo on the hands of light, like putting their hands up, and then the sun traveling in one direction and then reversing and turning day back into night again. Which looks to you a lot like a reference to traveling backwards in time.
I don't suppose there's any like Hounds of Tyndalus in the picture.
Is that your second question?
I am already looking at the picture. I feel like it shouldn't take
in that picture in particular, you see no evidence of a Hound of Tyndalus, no.
Okay. Alright, second question. What was the downfall of their culture?
The downfall of their culture came about on the back of a great big, looks like a sickness or a famine or an illness or death of other kinds passed through the like a ruling class of abyssals. And it looks a lot like Velarus was displeased with either them or something in an event that saw to the end of this civilization. Like, it looks like divine intervention wiped them out as far as the art pieces are concerned. There's probably more to it than that. There's a lot of social and economic collapse that goes into it. But it looks like a noble or ruling caste was essentially ceased being there, and it looks like God gave them the finger.
Well, that gotta have been Velarus, or is it?
Like... It would have been Velarus.
Huh.
It's again hard to say whether that is a literal choice or it's a metaphorical God killed us.
Okay.
It could be God has abandoned us, I suppose. It could, like, there are unfortunately like lots of readings into the downfall, and it's pretty hard to determine from art pieces, which are in and of themselves metaphor centric.
Well, you know what's less metaphorical, but sometimes also very much depicted in art? You know, talking about like the Babylonian Great Wheel. Where was the center of this culture's world? Where was their capital, mayhaps, even?
The Velaresian capital. Let me pull you guys over to the world map.
Yeah.
Now we're cooking.
The Velaresian capital happened to be right around Blackstone Tower.
Really now? That was my second guess. That makes a lot of sense.
Basically, it's smack between two oases, and then a third oasis happened. You're pretty sure that here, where they all bisect, like it wouldn't have been a wasteland in the stands here. There would have been like a civilization, and maybe even an entirely like a whole other oasis that isn't there anymore. Because a lot of those depictions are like very thematically placed, like homes atop water or homes on stilts, and you don't get a place on stilts unless it is because there is like water and rising rain and all of that. So presumably there was another natural oasis here that made up the capital of Velaresian culture, and that oasis doesn't exist anymore, which also I suppose coincides to metaphorical God telling you to fuck yourself.
Yeah. Or it may not just not exist, it might have fallen underground, like with
I wonder.
I
wonder.
Interesting.
Going under. Evanescence.
Very interesting.
Under the graveyard.
But the wood, this explains a lot of how it, like, on a technical level, be like, how does Velarus do all this shit? Apparently, he can literally just time slide.
Maybe. Maybe the God of Wishes and the God of... Yeah, it's entirely possible the God of Wishes and the God of Time coincide as the exact same thing. I wish that never happened. Funny story. Funny story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the most common use for wish is undoing an action, so it kind of seemed fitting.
Indeed. I just thought of, like, you know, like, instead of the whole actual time travel, he does the whole Loki of just sliding back to himself at that time.
I mean, it's if anyone could do it, it would be him.
Yeah, I see that. That seemed to be like the most logical, or like most efficient way of using your own time.
It would make it more powerful than the other gods in this, in just like Ceres in general. Not that it's particularly easy to equivocate the power levels of gods in the first place, though.
No, yeah, more powerful in terms of utility.
Yeah, sure. And no, when you ask Mike to do that, she will be very uncomfortable and says she does not want to be anywhere near it.
Well, somebody should. There's all these people here, and we know how powerful it is.
How powerful it was.
And could be again.
Oh, time magic is such ass. Hey, welcome back here. This is the gala, and you happen to have a date.
Oh, good.
+1.
Nice. Oh,
the
fantastic.
lovely 10. He has had the edges of his horns trimmed, and so that he doesn't like elbow anyone's pottery while you're looking through this museum gala that's been thrown in your honor. There are plenty of canapes and snacks and people wandering around, having a nice time. Everyone's looking at old cultural artifacts and just learn some more stuff about the Velaris, the abyssal culture, before that came to an end, and determined that the prior capital of their domain was probably smack dab in a dead spot of the sands between 3 oases.
And right next to that Blackstone Tower.
Right.
Yeah, and also adjacent to Blackstone.
Oh, I was up for that. Fantastic.
Yep.
Here's the thing. Adjacent, but a lot of shit tends to sink in the sand, so how do you know the Blackstone Tower is not just the peak of...
I don't know, a fucking wizard did it. Good question, though. None of you have been to Blackstone, you have no idea. Blackstone is like as I said, is like the dead spot between 3 oases. They don't go into there normally, and it was apparently abandoned for about 40 years. But yeah, Valesia, the Warforged, is also here looking over museum and arts pieces. So they'll sigh that there's nothing Eastern here, nothing to satisfy their weeb or cheeb needs. But, you know, still takes an interest in the various arts, and people are doing tests to see if they can learn anything, because this is a museum of history. It is a center of learning. If indeed there's anything you want to try and figure out looking at these old artifacts, you're welcome to roll an investigate or a history check whilst looking across it all. Depending on the result and what you're looking at, you can ask me questions, and I will try and give you answers.
Oh.
This is the event that I spent 100 gold on to make a very, very fancy dress.
Yeah, it draws a lot of attention. Anai, you and Stace are looking around, and with a 25, certainly that seems valid. You can ask me 2 questions.
Okay. So I was looking around for like other Dark Pantheon stuff. There is some of that here, yes?
Yeah, there are other historically relevant art pieces to the Dark Pantheon.
Okay. What is like the Cadus stuff here? Is there Cadus stuff here, I guess?
Interestingly enough, there is no Cadist stuff. They would have been very new at the time of this museum's like art piece's existence, if not even around yet. The fall of Velaresian culture, I believe, predates the elves leaving, and the elves leaving was like 100 or so years after Damja was fucking around. So you wouldn't find any Cadist stuff.
Ah. That was mostly what I was looking for in here.
No, you can find references to Damja at the very least. The bard goddess back in the day would have been thought more of as the muse goddess before it was seen exactly how selfish she was. In her own way, I guess she still is the muse goddess, just a very specific muse these days. A lot of her work... Actually, yeah, you do find a reference to Damja as the mother of chocolate, the one who invented cocoa, is what it says. It is why it is associated with like a love, romance, and roses, even though there are very few roses in the desert.
I see.
Allow me
have another question.
Allow me to point you to the famous police song.
I don't really have any questions. I was really hoping I could get like Cadus info here when you said like is desert folklore stuff, and I remember you saying at the very start of the game like, oh yeah, they're bigger in the deserts and everything.
They are, just unfortunately this museum predates the Cadus existing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't. The timeline may be fucked, but it isn't so fucked that you'll find things referencing them when they didn't exist yet.
I guess regarding like Damsa stuff, then
Sure.
So you mentioned she's music, something like that. Generally, how is she depicted to the Belarusians? Like, is she in some
To the
positive, a
Belarusians.
negative light type thing, or?
She is depicted as a temptress more regularly in Belarusian like cultural works, I suppose. For the most part, she's thought of as this, the mother of romance and chocolate, but there are like old scraps of an ode or a tale written that's basically about how, Damja's temptations brought about like the ruin of some Belarusian family. Very much along the same theme of parables, I would suppose.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't paint her as malicious, but it paints her temptations as shit disturbing in nature.
That about lines up with what we know of her.
Yeah, it kind of does. Yeah, all right then. Is anyone else looking around? I'm afraid, Masika, you don't find anything.
Dang.
Yeah.
Gonna see about if Marifa has anything.
Yeah, her culture existed then. It wasn't huge in the deserts, but it existed.
Trying to find artifacts of the secret god.
I mean, at the very least, like, if when you're looking up Marifan stuff, you tend to find, how people are always like, oh, the fucking Eye of Horus just keeps turning up fucking everywhere. Like, Marifa probably does, like, turn up in everyone else's religious iconography as hidden references. So, yeah, you can do a test there, Hedrah. I mean, investigate, look around, see if you can see anything Marifan. And you can ask me a question if you get a good enough result. No. If it is there, it's hiding from you quite well.
I could, you know what? I could go on inspiration. Let's see if I can actually do that.
Sure.
It's on a 0, so.
No, I'm afraid you are unable to locate anything.
Yeah.
Such is life. Yeah, while you guys are having a lovely time at this party and consuming a voracious quantity of canapes, and those of you who drink have little fancy flutes of champagne.
I don't know that's bad for me yet.
True. Actually, you probably have a couple of mouthfuls of it and then feel a little ill.
Must be from all the partying I've been doing.
You have been partying a lot recently.
I'll switch over to fruit juice like Karin.
I imagine you'd be, if it's not so, wouldn't it be tea? Because fruit juice is still a shitload of sugar. Like if you're going, oh, I'm a little bit,
oh yeah,
this alcohol isn't sitting right. I should have apple juice. You'd be like, no, probably teas, and they'd certainly have people who have tea and coffee.
Oh, Ralu, are you okay? You look kind of green under the gills.
Bleh.
Bit hungover.
Yeah, I don't know. It's sticking with me more than usual.
Well, it's been a long few weeks, a lot of time to be fair, and you've been through a lot. You haven't really fully decompressed, so I get it.
I'm not even old. I have like another good 220 years on me.
Yes, comes over with the fucking a snatched break of like little like meat rolls.
Oh, little sausage rolls.
Not like rose-shaped little cuts of meats.
Oh yeah. The little.
Oh
meat
yeah, I
flowers.
know.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Partake of my meat flour. Actually, that's got a very different.
In this case, she just took the tray from one of the servers walking past, like, oh, that's my plate, thank you.
It's been really
just went
sleepy
over.
and hungry.
Oh,
Well, we've been doing a lot of partying lately. We should probably take it easy.
I would.
Some of it's
I
been
would
real
recommend.
stressful too.
I would recommend some, just nice, quiet meditation time and fasting, but you really don't need to fast. You actually need.
I also regrew my wings and everything.
It's probably like a lot of
fine.
extra calories.
It's fine.
Yeah, get head rubs for both instead. And while it's happening, will everybody give me a perception test?
Sure.
Absolutely. I'll make my
Perception
disadvantage
I
because I'm
can
too
do.
distracted by Stacy.
You know what? That's fair. Actually, you can have it break out to even because she would help you regardless.
I sleep underneath a really, really cool painting, so I'm going to do another use that inspiration.
Sure.
Nope, that didn't help.
I think Mai will use hers. Well, actually, Karin rolled 22. Doesn't need to.
Yeah. And you aren't the only ones who are also rolling perceptions. Arcane.
Loam did it roll.
I'll get to that in a sec. Oh, your little Warforged friend is paying attention. And I'll do...
Wait. No, I don't think I have that painting right now. Because Ralu and Anai agreed that whenever they were working on a project, they'd hand off the painting to each other. And Anai just got done doing the study on the cape, so it's not with her.
so it's probably with her right now.
What's the painting do again?
Gives you advantage every morning if you sleep underneath the painting.
Oh, right.
Remember, Anai and Ralu agreed that whenever they're working on a project, they'll hand it off to each other. So she's probably handed it off to you already.
Right.
You get inspiration every morning just from having Cass around, though.
That is true. Also, he's
Yeah,
very
but the painting is
The painting
really
is
cool.
lovely.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Was it time to roll initiative?
Karin, maybe it's because you just aren't drinking any alcohol at all, and you're like, how about having some of this food? You know what? In fact, I'll go get you some more, and you move over to like a table, maybe over here somewhere, like right by one of these windows, and you happen to notice someone vaulting a wall. They are wearing a full mask and like soft pale blue sashes, and they've got a shield on one arm and a crossbow in the other.
Uh-oh.
And then when you notice them, you see a lot more of them starting to peep over the walls.
We know the fucking sharp whistle of shit's going down.
Yeah, that passes out through the party. I mean, it's in fact, can you give me an intimidate? Because there's you're in the midst of a party. Like it's noisy. There are a lot of people talking and looking at other stuff. Give me an intimidate. Let's see if you cut through the gloom. Not the gloom, through the chair.
You know, you have the booming voice. Do you have the booming voice cantrip?
No.
Luckily, you do not need it in this instance. Yeah, maybe it is just a thankful fact that you guys have been in a lot of conflict, but there is something about Karin's like bark of alarm and a sharp whistle that cuts right through this crowd. And in particular, you guys find yourselves reaching for weapons. That said, I don't know how many of you are armed right now.
Given that it's a sentient weapon, Ralu...
You're always armed. Yours is in hammer space when you aren't using it, so question's not really to you, but to everybody else. What are you armed with?
I mean I have my Sunblade.
So I figure I can just have a staff for walking around.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, you probably just have a nice, pretty one for doing so. Maeve similarly doesn't have any weapon on her except for sympathy and regret, because those similarly are ones that which she can pull around.
Yeah.
Listen, you can't tell me that at least some of the ladies don't have daggers strapped to the upper thigh. Come on now.
Oh yeah, no, everyone's got their walking around piece.
At the very least,
Stacy herself has a wand of magic missiles.
I mean, the Blade of Flowers is just a staff until it gets going.
I would
Yeah,
hope she
yeah,
also has that Staff of Panic on her as well.
She does. Oh no, she wouldn't. She's with you. She doesn't need to panic, but she does.
That's true,
She
that's
does.
true.
She does. She does like she carries strapped while she's
Really, it's the
and
armor
she also has a
situation
weapon.
that's more concerning for
Yeah, the
like,
armor
almost all of us.
situation's the spooky one for your party.
Hey, I mean, like I got mine tailored out to be like
Eh.
a really pretty stuff, so I can just have like that
Yeah,
dress of like magic mage armor.
absolutely.
I'll forgo the shield, but I don't really.
Yeah, you have a staff, and you never really worried about armor.
Similar, Cass has like that elven mail with encumbrance 0, so it's probably just under his shirt.
I'm gonna be so upset if they carve up the nice dress that Masika made for me. I spent 100 gold on this.
Ah, yeah, that's coming right off.
You should, clearly you should take it off now so that it can't get destroyed.
Karin's got her fucking religious vestige on, which is essentially fucking armor.
Yeah, I was gonna say your clothing is armor technically at all times, so you're probably pretty much okay. I imagine you didn't bring along any of the terrifying weapons, but you have your holy symbol at the very least.
Terrifying weapons? What terrifying weapons?
You have like a mean looking mace and like weapon, isn't it?
I don't. That got disenchanted.
Oh, of course it did. All right, okay, never mind then. Then yeah, you're about as tall as you need to be. Stacy is strapped with a wand of missiles.
It's just Ralu and Maive are kind of fucked on armor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Need to get Maive and actually Maive has positive dex, so she's not that bad off. Got a resting 14 AC.
I have negative dex.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Just without my shield, I have 17 armor AC.
It's still pretty fucking good for a shieldless nuke.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no idea what Loam has to hand.
She has leather, isn't she, or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know what she's at a party with her boyfriend.
Yeah,
she had a nice dress made. She's also dressed real nicely. I'm more concerned about like what weapons she has to hand, but I realize she's perfectly comfortable with a stabbing tool as well, and the bleeding edge was a short blade.
Yeah, that you can just like open up the puzzle blade and just wrap it around your hip or something if need be.
Yeah.
Easily.
What a cool fucking.
So yeah, I still got my sword staff. It's just a stick right now.
Yep. All right.
It's a big stick, but it's a stick.
Yeah. As they're all being revealed, I'm going to turn on the lighting.
Oh no, I can't see half my party.
I know, they're in different rooms. I can't remember the last time I ever separated you guys by rooms in something like this.
I can't remember that ever happening ever.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm pretty comfy. I got the
more importantly, Skow, where's the artifact? Because, like...
Sure, I'll put a thing down for it. Give me a moment.
Cass was making a point of, like, hovering around it.
Yeah, you absolutely were. That's why I left you in that room, is because that's where it is.
Yeah.
We're here protecting the baby.
Using the magical powers of foresight, I figured something might happen to the super time travel artifact.
Come on. And on a map I gave you a battle map for no reason, and why would that ever happen?
I mean, that wasn't part of the equation, but yeah, that's also suspect.
Look, me putting in any effort should be considered suspect. I thought that the moment I put you guys in the map, you're like, well, we're getting attacked. There's no way we aren't. I'm glad that one just like quietly slid by the radar.
No, I mean, look, we had a map for the fucking Dragon's Den.
That is true.
Like, we've had a map for a lot of stuff.
I do intend to more regularly put you guys in maps, even when there isn't a fight. Especially now that Arcana proc gen Arcana exists, so I can just do this and just be like, bam, building, enjoy.
Yeah.
That's some good ones. Yeah. I coincidentally already rolled Loam. If you guys would like to initiatize, that would make life easier when it comes time to do the thing.
Sure.
Whoa. Rare speed.
Just so you know, there are quite a fucking lot of them. But of course you can't see them because they're all sneaking in.
Bolter? Oh no. Yeah, where artifact though?
I haven't put the icon down for it, but you are basically next to it. I will do it in a moment. I just really want to get the faff part of this done now, so I don't have to worry about it. Of course, you guys can't see me just rolling over and over again because it's all in GM Whisper when you use the little initiative button, which is based as fuck.
That's so many guys.
It's a lot of dudes. Let's see here, and I'm going to need... you... I'll make turn 20. You are Lair. This is your building.
Then Kizzy and Mr. Big too, probably.
Also true. Character.
That's just in our room here.
Yep. Mr. Big. It's my name, that name, guys. Mr. Big.
Well, I think about half my spells I should not use here.
Yeah.
At least you've got good control over them.
Yeah.
And then Kizzy.
At the very least, I have a rune that gives me temporary HP and resistance to BPS for a minute.
Clearly, oh my god, it was the one who ended up at top of the turn order is the one over the wall right here that Karin spotted as well. So literally, as they were getting ready to like dramatic entry through a window, is exactly when Karin fucking spotted him.
Jump into bear jaws, get head ripped off.
Yep. Should be fun. Where's my little dabble?
Oh, Stace too, probably, right?
She will be going as part of this dude's lair actions. Like other randoms getting involved will be in the old Mr. Museum and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Much I'd rather her not get involved. It seems kind of inevitable at this point.
Yeah. At the very least in this situation, I mean, your role can be getting her the fuck out of the way, hiding her in a corner. Like, you're aware of a closed room at the center of this place where you could probably start filtering people, but that would be for next session to worry about.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, Kizzy and Masika are on the same initiative.
Yeah.
That is convenient.
Just for no reason but other than to make it obvious where it is. Let's give it a nice...
Oh dear God, what's going on now?
People are
thieves are
breaking
breaking in. We're probably going to try and take the artifact that is like the painting of regression or whatever it's called. Arbor regression.
Yeah, that appears to be the thing that they are. Well, I mean, to be fair, this is just a place full of nobles and rich people, and they're least armed.
Yeah, it's
fair.
definitely a coincidence.
I mean, it's not a coincidence. They're here because there is a gala, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely here because there's a gala, not because there's a gala to cover them stealing this particular thing.
Yeah.
I'm on to you.
Glad you understand. Glad we're on the same wavelength, and that's exactly the case. There's no other reason except for all of these riches and less armored than usual adventurers here to steal from.
You know, it would be really funny if that really was the case. They're just here because like the people are less armed and like they can probably have an easier time.
They're gonna be really angry when they kick open this window and then see that not only is it your adventuring party, but your +1 was like last year's like one of last year's fucking arena champions. They'll be like, oh come on.
Okay, we're gonna rob the fuck out of these sheep.
They're gonna be so scared. They'll want to surrender.
Oh shit, the arena champions.
Knives.
Oh fuck. Last year's arena champion. Oh shit.
Just so many people. I imagine Loam has the bleeding edge because it's a fancy blade that you can unfold and wrap around you like a belt. The whip sword.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I feel like we need just one you have. But regardless, we're wrapping up today. I feel bad you've had to just be up and down doing dinner stuff and missed a lot of the RP.
That's just how Sundays are now.
Yeah, it's such a bummer. But it's fine. There'll be preamble to this moment where you can flirt with your big boyfriend, who he's made sure that he's looking nice for this and having a good time.
I feel really bad for the people that ninja kicked their way in and just see Mr. Biggs.
Yeah, there is a window right here by Mr. Big and another one right here as well. They just I missed Tiff on initiative Aaron as well. Descending. Like, yeah, they're jumping right out in front of Mr. Big and Tiff, and it's just like, well, neither of them need a weapon to kick your fucking ass.
Yep.
They're just lucky. My first priority is making sure my child is safe.
Yep. It's fine because there's also Kizzy, and she is also a chariot champion, which does mean that she's probably gonna like grab a broom off the ground, like just Jackie Chan style, like a broom is a weapon, it's a stick, and then kill them with it like it's a lance.
I will say this: imagine this going through her head. It's like, oh, we're being attacked. They are threatening my child. They are putting my child in danger.
Oh yeah, no, they're all fucked. They don't know how fucked they are, but they are fucked.
Everything dies.
You got two mama bears about to come at them.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be real bad for them, but it'll be real bad for them next session.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm excited.
Alright, game IXP and then go to bed, slag.
No, I still have to exercise, by which I mean I'm probably just gonna go for a walk instead. I'm too tired for gym.
Wait, hold
Did
on.
you?
Steven the vegetarian mimic, Steven the kobold.
They're very different because bugs aren't vegetables.
Alright, sorry, Karin.
They would totally be pals, though, let's face it. Anyway, did you save an innocent life?
No.
That's
We're about to, though.
Defeat a solo or treacherous encounter?
No.
Learn something new about the world, Natty Journal?
Yeah,
really.
we got the location of the Barbarian capital.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Take on create a major or complete a quest?
Not really, no.
Dragon's dead.
That wasn't a quest. We
Uncover
provided
a
that.
rare magical item or a treasure hoard.
Brienne soul coin.
Nah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you did. That thing is worth a fucking city of money. Poor baby. Score a special objective.
I have 6 moo cows now. That's a special objective to me.
This objective is super duper special. They said so.
He said so.
I don't know. Is hosting our own investment show considered a special objective?
I almost want to give you a special objective score for an episode of Dragon's Den.
That was fun. That was so fun.
Yeah, I think that deserves it, honestly.
All right.
Alright, so 3
it's
XP.
If you think you deserve an XP for it, sure.
174 then?
Yes. Yeah. And tomorrow, I'll shake you down so we can do like the other bits of like that Dragon's Den.
Yeah.
I got one more store to fill up.
The less PG-13 part of the Dragon's Den.
Yeah.
And then later tomorrow, I get to pick you all up and shake you. Violently.
Yeah.
In a fight, right?
Yes, actually.
Yeah. I just imagine that, Ash has been picked up and shaken, at least, an up and down motion quite violently.
Many a times, yes.
Also, question, Savin, for the baseline of AC, is it just 10 plus dex?
Yep. So you have an
does
AC
that-
9.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Dex
it's not
does good.
great. Because most monsters
Absolutely.
have
Brutes are
an attack bonus of,
genuinely
like,
scary.
8.
That's
But don't worry,
not good
you
for
haven't seen any brutes amongst these thieves. I'm sure that's all that's there to fight you, and it's okay. I hope you enjoyed today.
Thanks for running.
Yeah. Thanks for running, Scow. If you're watching on stream, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow for 70. Until then, adios and do take care.